immortal king. I am the king and sing, I bring the music scene back. Hear my empirical rhymes added lyrical flow to this rap that's a fact. Fresh meat on the scene, I flesh out my routine to slip in between the obscene and uninteresting. Just a smoke treat for my infernal machine. I've sent to blow up on this track. Let me explain why my name's in this game. Let me share with you my hardship and pain. Let my left brain analyze and devise all these rhymes so your mind can surmise that my flow tells and lies. And I'm here to surprise, terrified at a mind. Say I actualize truths I locked up inside, jeopardized by my intricate demons. Released every line symbolizing my triumph. I don't know everyone's hardships, didn't grow up with your pain. But I know that I'm the farthest thing from a thief looking for money or fame. I'm keeping it real, I over-reveal, I weep and I squeal. I'm cut to the real, an automobile that is stuck and get aimed at the cliffs of unreal.
Sad eyes shimmer gold, king leaps from his throne. Blood leaks from his mouth, breathe in, bleed out.
My journal is full of eternal requests to be blessed, but I'm stressed, can't digest it. The truth is a monster suppressed by my youth and expressed as a manifestation of blind ignorance. I confess the first step to assess the regrets that I've left unaddressed. I'm obsessed with my quest to find rest, decompress, get things off of my chest, finally take a breath. Used to believe money brought what I need, sought after riches to pockets with greed. Bought me a life only seen in my dreams, forcing it all but was missing a piece. Where was the glee, my guarantee? Thought I'd be free of the misery carried through life, it's still torturing me. Yet I'm still filled with the dread of waking up alone in an ivory bed, faking that I know what's running through my head, shaking I'm alone as I stare at my phone, painstakingly waiting for love that's as pure as my own. Cause I thought I could answer the world, wasn't top at the chance it unfold. But I fought in that fight isn't dead, and I won't stop that fight till I'm dead and I'm cold.
Sad eyes shimmer gold, king leaps from his throne. Blood leaks from his mouth, breathe in, bleed out. Master of disguise, makes a wise cramps lost on you with the best advice. Try and realize where your bias lies. Blinded anger leads to hatred, but you can't surmise that the worst threat to your mindset is the toxic trust you inside, beat into your eyes. Take a cobra's aim to immobilize. Play the victim just to save your pride. Spewing lies, think you slide, try to mesmerize friends you hurt who think the world of you. They'll desert you in the great divide. Takes a second just to tell a lie. Deception mountain piling up too high to climb. Tick tocking like you're left alone to die. Hurry up, you're already out of time. Daylight turns cold, rise from the shadows.
Continue with unlimited rhymes intertwined with sublime wit inside of my mind, undefined by the rules of mankind. Chords align like the clocks at the start of springtime. Let's skip ahead. Sick of the attitude, sick of the attitude, sick of the poor being used without gratitude. Leave moral turpitude growing in magnitude, suffocates all the way work to combat it. Lost by corporations that intrude on the everyday lives of mankind. That's enough for you. Golden shakes, savageries, millions for worshiping, full of sick trouble tea. That's not enough for you. You act like you have it all, but the more you front, the more you prove one thing. Growing in magnitude, suffocates all
I am
the way
the king. I am the king. I am the king.
Welcome, everybody, to today's episode of your Daily Dose of Diablo. I'm Mr. Lamasi, and today we are going to be discussing Project Diablo 2. This is an old school mod here. It's been around for many years now, and really probably the most prominent mod that currently exists. I would say kind of back in the day there, you had more of like Median XL, which still is doing stuff, and POD, Path of Diablo and stuff, and then Project Diablo 2 came out with Senpai something, and he was able to really grow the game into this wild, awesome mod that, you know, has power creeped in many ways, but has added a ton of cool features and endgame and all sorts of different crafting and whatever content. And it continues through to today. Season 11 announced for May 15th. So they do seasonal content here.
16th, actually.
Oh, who's that? Who do we have on our screen? That's right. It is none other than... Oh, gosh dang it. Senpai something.
Hello. How's it going?
Hello. Nice to have you. How's it going today?
That's good to chat. Like I was saying, it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Been a minute since we chatted.
Yeah, you're clearly extremely awake and have been for many hours, which is great.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't wake up 10 minutes before this.
Yeah. Thought we were going to get a face reveal on the Daily Diablo. You got a face reveal right here, kind of. Senpai doesn't do face.
Okay, there. Oh, wait, you already did it. You already did my face reveal. Wait
yeah, it's right
I'm
there.
already on there.
Yeah, you're right here.
Yeah,
exactly.
You didn't even tell me.
Maybe one day. Maybe one day we can get it there. So I would like you to walk us through. We're going to go 3 parts with this kind of. Number 1, give us an introduction to PD2 for those who don't know it. Maybe talk about who was the first person to get level 99 on an Amazon in season 1 or something. That's just a random thing to talk about, but you could talk about it.
I think it was Kano.
No. Kano was a druid, I'm pretty certain.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it was.
That must have been Kano.
A llama dude, yeah. Number 2, I'd love for you to walk us through the journey of PD2 as it's grown from base to what it is today. And then number 3, obviously, I'd love for you to discuss stuff coming up in season 11. And when we get there, we'll be able to kind of really show some cool stuff off. So starting out, Project Diablo 2, give us the breakdown. What caused you to really see the need for it that you weren't seeing from other mods, and then what was kind of your inspiration with stuff? And
So I guess back in the day, I used to play a lot of Diablo, right? I was a no life degen. I did all the D2 JSP PvP tournaments. I was deep into a different side of Diablo back in the day. And I actually had PvP characters that were like legacy. I had like 10 accounts of PvP characters that I'd basically every 30 days logged on and refreshed for literally years. And so I'd accumulated like a massive archaic non-ladder PvP wealth.
Yeah.
And then when I was in my early 20s, I went and worked a camp job, and I was gone for a few months, and my stuff expired. And because I was in the PvP scene, people had name botted all my characters and expired them all intentionally to screw me over. And I got so tilted from that, I took a break from Diablo. Yeah. And then so a few years later, I wanted to get back into Diablo, but I was kind of so mad about the whole ladder experience, I didn't really want to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when I kind of found Median XL, and I started playing that. And then it wasn't really my cup of tea. And from there, I kind of jumped into more vanilla-like things like Slash Diablo, Path of Diablo, things like that, right? And then I started streaming those and got really into that.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I just there was like I saw the potential of modding basically, and like the continuation of vanilla likes, but I didn't really like the way that certain mods were progressing over time. And I kind of got bored. And then I was just kind of I was streaming at the time. I was going through like a bit of streamer burnout where I didn't really want to keep playing what I was playing, and I kind of wanted to do something else.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of started pitching the idea of like, maybe let's work on a mod or something to people in my stream. But it was kind of one of those things where I didn't really expect it to go anywhere. It was just kind of like,
sure.
Hey, honey, feeling crazy on a Friday kind of thing, like didn't actually expect anything to happen though. And then,
which I feel like is how a lot of things do start. How I started Llama RPG creation, how I started streaming, right? It's like, let's do it, and then you kind of keep going.
Exactly. I think that's how a lot of people get stuck into streaming, myself included.
Right.
My account was originally a throwaway account just to test. That's actually why my name is so random, is because it's actually a take on the old Xbox naming conventions. If you remember, like 360 when it had like spoiled orange or whatever, right? It's
Two
two things shoved together basically. That's how my name got put together, is because it was just the play on the random name generation from Xbox 360, so I could test frame rate and stuff. But
I love it.
anyways, different tangent. So yeah, basically, yeah, we just started kind of pitching the idea. It was a very, very low scope mod back in the day. The design docs I had from season 1 were so low scope. It was like it was basically just balance changes, essentially. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got some of it playing up here. This is from season 1, and it looks very similar to current Diablo. You've got a few different skills. Paladin shooting off the multi-shot holy bolt and stuff. Obviously you had like bigger inventories and stashes at that point and stuff, but it was still pretty basic.
Yeah, and even season 1 honestly ended up being a lot higher scope than what I had initially planned going. Like when the project first got kind of proposed, it was mostly just like editing rune words and some unique stats and, like I said, things like that. Yeah. Even things like at the time, because I had obviously never modded before, there was things we wanted to do with like inventory systems and stuff like that, but it was never something that I like definitively knew we were going to get to because again, I just didn't really know how to do anything at the time, right? I didn't even know how to edit a TXT at the time. So, prior to that, the only like modding-esque things I'd done is I spent years like developing custom games on Warcraft 3 and StarCraft and stuff like that. Okay. But outside of that, I'd never really done anything, right? So
yeah.
I did and that didn't translate over in any shape or form.
Oh yeah, a lot of StarCraft mods and things like that, which it doesn't really have any translation because that's all still within the editor and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah.
But I guess it gives you the creativity, right? Is what it gives you.
Yeah, I mean, for someone who doesn't understand programming whatsoever, it kind of gives you that like basic concept of like if then do else sort of thing. But outside of that,
right. all the triggers, exactly. So.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, outside of that, I didn't know anything going in, right? And then now, over time, we've just feature creeped so much, and I think honestly, it's just like every time we get a new developer, it's like a catalyst, right? Like everyone in our team is just so talented that we kind of ping pong off each other. And
so, how many people do you have deving now?
So are you talking the game or the project as a whole? Because we have 2 website developers, we have a launcher developer.
Sure, just like how big is the team?
Okay, are we saying developers only or also moderation staff? Because if we're talking developers, probably upwards of 5 to 10 based on who's available, because again, it's a volunteer project.
Yep.
And if we're talking moderation, there's anywhere from 10 to 25 people based on who's active and available, right? It just all depends. It fluctuates.
That's a pretty solid team, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty much the size of a small studio now.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that is our introduction to it. Walk me through some of the changes, pieces, everything as you went through the game, and as we got through different seasons and different pieces and everything there.
Oh wow, I'm gonna be honest. A lot of this is a haze now that we're 11 seasons in.
Sure.
So back in the original season 1, one thing we really wanted to do was we wanted to kind of change Diablo clone and make a fun, interesting fight.
Yep, I remember that fight being wild.
It was very scuffed in the beginning. Yeah, the beginning was very scuffed. Made a few mistakes that we learned from the beginning. Because people are always going to cheese everything, so you realize ways people cheese things and how to build fights around those cheeses over time. So that fight originally was a bit hectic and went through a lot of iteration. I'm pretty happy where it's at now. I think it's become a really cool fight over the years.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of something. We crammed really hard in season 1. Like season 1, we did everything basically in like 6 months, which
oh gosh,
to build the infrastructure. Yeah, so it was basically a 6-month crunch project that we pumped out, right? Wow. So the first season was insane. We basically no life. We had to build the infrastructure. We had to build, server infrastructure. We had to make the website. We had to do the launcher. We had to make all the changes. et cetera, et cetera. And we were very naive because, again, when we started this, we didn't really expect that many people to play, honestly. Like, I don't think we really thought about how many people would play. It was just kind of like, because we didn't really do anything besides word of mouth marketing, right? It was just kind of like me talking my stream, and it just kind of spread from there. But the combination, at the time, part of the inspiration was that there was the rumors of D2R coming, and I didn't think that was going to actually happen ever. And then COVID was also kind of starting at the time too, right? So it was kind of like a perfect storm catalyst sort of thing, between the failed delivery of D2R, which people were hoping for, and COVID. And then so things got really crazy. Next thing you knew, we had upwards of 30,000 people online.
Yeah.
And the server infrastructure that we were using, it has like warnings on it to not really go above 5,000 because it's not really built for that. It's very old, like hijack software.
Okay.
So once you get to a certain point, it just starts falling apart basically from memory leaks.
Yeah.
So in season 1, season 2, the memory leaks were getting so out of control with 30,000 people that we were basically just working on the servers 24/7.
I mean, I remember constantly
we all
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a big meme project downtime too back in the season 1 too. We'd have like 100,000 people spamming the Discord. It was insane.
Yeah.
And so we were also very naive where like we didn't really think about how malicious people would be in that size of a player base as well. So we didn't properly flesh out any of our like anti-cheat and development tools. Yeah. So the majority of everything, season 1 and season 2, was done manually back then. And so I basically just lived 24/7 being a warden basically. Yeah. And so it was a no sleep situation for those first 2 seasons, and now over time we've fleshed out all that stuff, and we've just been able to transition more and more into developing content. So it's made things easier over time.
Yeah.
We're just kind of pumping out content ever since. So.
That's actually something that I feel like I'll run into as well eventually with Lime RPG. There is, like you say, you don't think that there's going to be malicious actors. You're like, oh, it's just a small like little project, and who would actually want to break it and ruin it and do, hack it and all these things. But there's just people that.
Is Llama RPG going to be a live service game?
Or is it single player? Ish. It won't be as live service as you've got going here with PD2 with like so much with seasons.
I don't know if I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I'd ever make a live service game again.
It's a lie. You guys put a lot of work consistently into this. So I'm not sure I'd get this level of detail and depth on it, but maybe
it's like putting the genie in the bottle and you can't get out after. So
right. So tell us about kind of your Endgame thoughts and your. I guess I kind of want to break down some of the development into a couple pieces. I want to talk about Endgame. I want to talk about crafting, and then I want to talk about just like general power creep of other pieces. I guess we could do a little like UI stuff, I suppose. It's just a lot of improvement, right? Like you say, bigger stashes, stackable things, all this stuff, which was really nice. I loved. I'm showing it on my screen right now, but if you look on the right side of my inventory, I have all of the flawless gems, and I absolutely loved that I could just carry around one of each flawless gem, and then just consistently pick them up. So then I would just have flawless gems. It was like, oh, it's so perfect. I absolutely loved that. And so, some great stuff with the stacking. But, but I want to talk about, I guess first let's start. So Endgame, it started with just kind of basic maps, right? There were just a couple maps, and you could do a little bit on those. What's kind of been the progression since then, and the thoughts and the feel of it and just everything?
Yeah, so back in the day, I was the only person making the maps back in season 1. Okay. A guy named Carveruscu, who works on Last Epoch now, he taught me how to do it. Nice. So shout out to him. I appreciate him helping me and teaching me back then. And yeah, basically he taught me how to make maps, but I wouldn't consider myself great at making maps. So I made some of the initial ones. I think I kind of peaked at River of Blood is my coolest one.
Okay, yeah. I liked River of Blood.
And yeah, that was kind of I think that was my peak in what I made, because the thing about my maps is that when I first started making them, I didn't really. The Diablo 2 is kind of weird. You can't mix tiles from different acts because every act actually has its own palette.
Interesting.
And so when you pull something from a different act, it ends up really oddly colored. It could be like fluorescent orange, yellow, green, something, right? It'll look very odd.
Huh.
So you actually have to modify the tiles and do certain things in order to pull them into different acts. So you can't just mix and match things. That's why you might have not noticed, but in the initial maps they were all from the same zones, and that's because I didn't understand how to do that at that point in time. I just kind of pumped them out as quick as I could.
Gotcha.
So over time, we've gotten more and more talented people and level designers and stuff.
Yeah.
And we've been really lucky to drag a couple people from the community into the team, and so we've kind of snowballed how many maps we had back then. Like you mentioned, in season 1 we had a total of 3 maps.
Yes.
So if people aren't familiar, basically with the Endgame mapping system P2, you basically have LOD, which is your base content that you can enjoy and appreciate, just like the base game. But then we have kind of a Path of Exile, Diablo 3, whatever you want to call it, mapping/rifting type system, where you can get these maps which you can open and they bring you to new endgame zones. And you can also modify these maps. You can craft on them the same way you'd craft on an item. And as you craft on these maps, you can increase the density of the zone, how much experience it gets, how many rare map packs are in it.
Very Path of Exile-like with that, yeah.
Exactly, very Path of Exile-like. So you can very much modify these zones and go into them, and they have different immunities. And there's a Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. And then there's also the dungeons, which are a group map, basically. It's like a very difficult group map that's mostly just for XP pushing. It goes beyond Tier 3.
Okay.
And then we also have unique maps, which are basically maps that have something new and interesting going on with them. That is very unique, specific to that map. So a couple examples would be, in the upcoming season, we've added one that teleports you like a void-like zone. And it basically is a strip of map, followed by entering a boss arena. And the boss arena is a completely random Tier 1 map Tier 1 boss, that's been increased in difficulty. To be kind of like a mini Uber almost.
Yeah.
And then as you go to the second boss, it's a completely random Tier 2 boss, and then a completely random Tier 3 boss. So every time you run the map, there's different bosses every single time, right?
That's kind of fun.
So you never know. Yeah, exactly. So when you get poured in the arena, you never know what boss you're going to fight, and it's going to be harder than when you traditionally fight in regular maps.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just kind of fun stuff. And then we also have a map that the monsters basically drop charms all the time, and the bosses drop skillers or have a chance to drop skillers. We have another map that drops jewels all over the place, and the boss always drops a rainbow facet. Just stuff like that. Things that are interesting, right? We even have a unique map that always drops corrupted items. Everything that drops in the zone is corrupted, basically, by default.
Interesting.
Just some cool stuff like that. Yeah, and then we also have map events. So while you're going through these maps, not only are you killing monsters, fighting the boss of the area, but there's also random events that can pop up. So things like Treasure Fallen, which are kind of like the treasure goblins in Diablo, but they drop crafting materials, runes, and crafting mats and maps and stuff. We have a Pillar of Darkness-esque event. Sorry?
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, do you have, like, in PoE, because, having, like, all the events within PoE is kind of, that's, like, a big thing in your map, your rituals and whatever stuff. Is that all, like, are you keeping that sort of style where you're taking previous season things and maybe, like, putting them in maps and having it be...
Yeah, so we don't really do like seasonal throwaway content like a lot of ARPGs. Basically, everything gets added as a permanent feature.
Gotcha. So it's only grown in content. There's no removal.
So yes, it's only grown in content. Unless we didn't like something. Like we did have a butcher event back in the day that we just didn't like, so we cut it because players just didn't enjoy it. So like unless something isn't well received by the community, we don't cut it. But if something isn't well received, we cut it basically.
Gotcha.
Or we iterated on it or whatever. Right? We're not fully committed to like. I don't know, be stubborn and keep things that just aren't fun, right? So if it's not a hit, we'll remove it or we'll iterate. But as long as people are having fun with it, we just leave it in the game. Because the reality is, when you have a team of this size, it's not really feasible to have constant season resets with throwaway content. It's just a lot of development time thrown away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Yeah, and I think I'm not really like the biggest fan of like super cheesy seasonal mechanics, to be honest with you. I feel like I'm more into things that create like uh strong foundations, I suppose.
Yeah. So what's been
I
your?
feel like
Oh, you go ahead. Yeah.
sorry.
You go ahead and then
I
I'll
was just gonna
ask.
say I feel like that's more something you do when you run out of things you can prove on the foundation, and you just need reasons to mix it up,
Just
basically.
need to throw. Just need to create something. Just to have something new.
Yeah, exactly. You just need to pull some levers to give people something. Right?
Yeah. So what has been your favorite content that you've added to the game? And I'm sure there's multiple things. You can list multiple things, but
Um, I'm a big Uber boss killer. I like very difficult Ubers. That's always been kind of an obsession of mine, which is probably
okay.
why we have so many in PD2.
Yeah.
I'm definitely one of the people on the team that is always pushing to make a new Uber.
Yeah.
I know the rest of the team likes making them too, but I probably am one of the bigger advocates. So I think I really like a lot of the Uber fights. I'm very proud of Rathma. I think Rathma is a very very cool fight.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever done it, but
I
it's
have
basically
not done
like
the Rathma fight. I may have to jump in for
yeah,
season 11, honestly, just
yeah,
so
you should.
I can try and push it, go to Rathma, do all that stuff, you know.
Yeah, I think Rathma is probably one of my favorites. Lucian that we made in the recent season is really cool as well.
Okay.
But I'm still very proud of Rathma and the flow of Rathma. It's very different. It very much feels almost like a World of Warcraft raid, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like a single player raid, but
Yeah.
in Diablo because you have to traverse through like mini dungeons and fight the bosses.
Hmm.
Basically, the way it functions is you fight Rathma and Mendeln,
Okay.
but you fight them independently at first. So first you bump into Mendeln, and then when you almost kill him, he
Gotcha.
flees through a portal, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
you bump
yeah.
into Rathma, and he flees through a portal, and then they meet
Then
together
they
in the
meet
void, and you
together.
fight them both at once.
Nice.
Yeah, and so it has a very good flow and experience to it. I find very fun and enjoyable for a lot of people.
All right. Well, I definitely, yeah, that's a fight that I do want to go experience because I have heard good things about it.
Yeah, highly
Um,
recommend.
okay. I'm interested or I'm curious that you said Median Excel wasn't really your jam, considering Median Excel feels like just a bunch of Uber bosses, like constantly. Like that I feel like that's
Yeah,
what Median Excel was. It was just like come into a boss, get absolutely demolished by it, have to figure out, you know, how to fight that fight in a whole new way, and then shifting over. So what was it
yeah.
there that, you know, was the turnout for you or didn't really fit for you?
So I'd like to preface with saying I think it's a very impressive mod. I think they've done a lot of cool stuff. I
Sure,
think they've
sure.
worked consistently and hard on it a long time, so I
Yeah.
respect that a lot.
Yeah.
For me personally, you know, D2 mods at this point are kind of like art. I really appreciate different things people have done, and it's
Yeah.
nice kind of checking it out.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's my art style or not, right? It's just
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
nice
Yeah,
to
of
appreciate it
course.
for what it is. But I think in the case of that, it's just I very much like vanilla-like esque mods, personally in terms of D2,
Mm-hmm.
and I just felt it
They
was a
got
bit
away.
much for me.
Yeah.
It's just a bit much for me in terms of some of the things that PoE one also suffers from, which is like screen clarity issues, just like extreme unexpected damage from things. You know, it's kind of it feels a little bit all over in that sense for me personally.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's fair.
but I do think it's a good mod, and obviously a lot of people enjoy it. Right? It's just
Yeah.
different flavors for different people. You know.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, I thought it was just fine with the comment there because I thought that was when I played, you know, Median Excel, I really enjoyed my time through it.
Hmm.
Because and it's very interesting because a lot of times I'm with you where it's like Path of Exile 1 and things like that. There really was like a lot of screen clarity issues. You know, and like obviously what I'm showing on screen is 8 people in a tight space right now in PD2. So like you're going to have like some screen clarity and even regular D2 if you have that.
Actually, interestingly enough, I don't know if you've seen in one of our recent dev streams, we actually added the ability to make ally abilities translucent as well as their summons for
Whoa.
additional screen clarity.
Wow.
So you can actually make all of the particle effects, VFX, summons,
You
etc.
can
of
dim
allies.
all of your
You can
allies'
dim.
spells.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
So if you want screen clarity on PD2 now in the
yeah.
upcoming season, you just hit the button and you you're good
That's
to go.
cool.
Mhm.
That's cool. I'm gonna have to try that out. So yeah, like but you know, that the screen clarity issues definitely were, you know, something for me, and still are something that I'm like, you know, iffy on in a lot of modern RPGs.
Yeah.
But I found that with Media XL, I kind of forgave it a little bit because I loved all of the boss fights so much. Not all of them. The purification stuff was garbage, but everything that wasn't
Yeah.
purify, I was like, this is so like such a cool experience and something that you just don't get in D2. So I just found those pieces good. But
Yeah, I should also clarify. This was like 8-9 years ago or
right,
something, you know. So
right.
and they've been still working on Meeting XL for like nearly a decade since I
Yeah.
played last. So it's probably a completely different game from when I tried it last. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've played it since I played PD2 season, like before season 1 of PD2 even. So, you know, for me, they probably have a bunch of new things and stuff, and whatever. But let's keep talking PD2. So, okay, so what you said you like a lot of the, you know, the mods and stuff, to be Diablo 2-esque and more in that way. Obviously, over 11 seasons, PD2 has had some power creep and things there. Do you feel it's gotten too far away? How do you feel you're able to still keep that Diablo 2 feel to it and not get too far lost in just wild insanity, I suppose?
honestly, I'm just not shy of slapping nerfs down. The reality is, like, people complain every time I do it, but I just don't care. Like, the reality is the main purpose of PD2 is basically to bring all the characters up to essentially similar power levels to what, say, like sorceresses and hammerdins were in LOD, because that was kind of like the enjoyable progression I felt like for most people back in LOD. You
Yeah.
found the majority of people ended up leaning towards Javazons, hammerdins, and
Yes.
sorks, because
Yeah.
the reality is they want that class fantasy of feeling strong by the time they're fully itemized, right?
Right.
So the goal was always to kind of create a similar power curve to what those builds experienced in LoD, and basically make all classes feel that experience. So it is power creep in the sense that all these builds that were typically just memes, or like, you know, like playing a melee in LoD it's like you do it for fun, but if you want to actually be efficient, there's no way unless you're playing something that's, you know, horking or something with an enigma,
Right.
right?
Right.
You're just not doing it, is the reality of it. So
Yeah.
the concept of how we wanted to quote unquote power creep was power creeping everything up to the enjoyable classes a lot, right? Which does make the whole game as a whole feel power creep in that sense. But
Yeah.
the reality is it's really just trying to achieve that fun progression that people enjoyed and didn't avoid in LoD, but more accessible across the board. Like, we just want someone who's never played Diablo 2 to log in, pick a skill in the skill tree, invest
feel
in the
good.
synergies, and feel good from start to finish without
Yeah.
feeling like they need to go on Reddit and ask why, only to have someone tell them to reroll a Hammerdin or a Sork in gear, and then come back and then play their Fury Druid later, you know? So
Yeah. Do you feel
So,
like there still are those kinds of builds? Because something that I do love about Diablo 2 is the varying power across. Like, it's fun to go and play, you know, a Fury Druid, or to play a Vengeance Paladin, or whatever, for me at least, and be in that weaker power zone, but like struggling through the game more, but having fun playing through the game more, as opposed to always just rolling a Javazon or a Hammerdin or a Mosaic Assassin or whatever. So do you feel like you still have that in PD2, or is it really all of the skills try and really scale up into being something that you can just go? And I think there's, you know, pros and cons to both sides of that, honestly.
honestly, I would say at this point, the majority of classes are just playable from start to finish now. Even things like Inferno and Arctic Blast are very good at this point. We
Really?
have people mapping on Smite now. So it's
Wow.
kind of gotten to a point where you can kind of pick and play almost everything, to be honest. I think outside of maybe like Like, I mean, you could still do it actually. Like, you could even play like a confused necro. Technically, it would, but be slow, obviously. But
Yeah.
unless you're playing like something super memey like confused necro, you can pretty much do whatever you want at this point.
Love it. So, what did you do with Inferno and Arctic Blast to make them like map clearing viable skills actually, and not just what they are now?
So Inferno. One sec. Inferno, basically, the way it functions now is the width of it increases as it levels.
Okay. Do you have it showing? Can I like go to your?
I could show you.
Yeah. I want to see.
I can show you real quick. Yeah, so Inferno, basically, the width of the ability grows as you level. We also changed the speed at which the initial wind-up frames are, so it's much snappier and faster. You don't have that really like
Don't have
slow
the
wind-up.
lean back and then
So-
put. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it just immediately goes, right? And then as
Yeah.
you put more points into it, it just keeps getting a little wider and a little wider. And then progressively over time, it again will get wider and wider.
Yeah.
And then eventually you end up with,
Just
an
a
actual
whole. Yeah.
big Inferno. And then it actually kind of feels like what it feels like it should have felt like in the base game.
Yeah.
And it just does a lot of damage. And then Arctic Blast, the way it functions is if monsters die while chilled by Arctic Blast, they explode into a frost nova.
Nice. Okay,
So
that's
they kind
cool.
of explode in like a cold enchant, but it's on your side, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
And then both Inferno and Arctic Blast also apply a negative res debuff.
Gotcha.
So you can also break immunities with them. If they're high res,
Gotcha.
then it's also good for killing those high res monsters.
Yeah.
And you can also support allies if you want to play like a support Inferno or Arctic Blast character, right? Maybe you have a really cold or fire oriented team, you could be debuffing things and stuff like that, right? So
Interesting.
kind of a cool little thing.
Yeah, that's actually my favorite piece about it is that you actually gave them unique feels for a skill that is essentially the exact same thing.
Exactly, yeah. Because people
because-
sometimes ask, like, why didn't you make Arctic Blast wide? And it's like, well, we wanted them to feel unique still, right?
Right. Yeah, it's like the standard, right. Whenever I've thought about like improving, those two skills, I'm like, just make them wider and like a more, increase their damage, and you could maybe like lower res with them or something, and when it hits, something like that, like penetration. But I never would have thought putting like a frost nova on hit and then again, or on explosion on death, and then having it be, again, just making the skill a different skill instead of literally the same skill but in blue,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it currently is essentially now. So I really like that. I think that's a nice, little change. What are some other changes, or if you want to show off any, right, you can go into any of the characters and show off maybe some of the
sure.
skills and changes that you really enjoy and think are unique ways that you improved bad skills or skills that just could have used more.
So we have a lot of stuff in terms of that.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
don't
Pick
even
some favorites because you have tons.
Yeah, favorites. What would be some favorites of mine? Let's see. Favorites of mine. I know double throw is one that a lot of people like a lot. This is one. So in the upcoming season as well, we've also changed it so that you can get sockets on throwables now.
Ooh.
You could even craft like. You can have things like Fury, for example, could be
What?
rune
You
word
can
for
make rune
throwables.
words in throwables.
Yeah, so you can do rune words. You can put
That's
sockets
wild.
in. You can do whatever. You can do whatever you want to do, right? So
That's
I
wild.
think a lot of people have been pretty excited about double throw and Javazons in general.
Yeah.
But the way double throw functions basically is that it bounces between enemies, so you can kind of play like a funky little throw bar setup. I guess some other cool ones. There's a lot of cool stuff we've done with Necromancy. We made this really cool ability called Dark Pact, which I'm very proud of. It's kind of
remember
a
that.
people kind of call it the piano necromancer. Basically,
Yeah.
the way it functions is we have this thing called curse mastery, and for every 10 base levels, you can apply an additional curse. And then basically the way Dark Pact works is that once you're able to apply, 3 curses or whatever, sometimes more based on your itemization, then you can apply these curses, which stack and apply their buffs. And then when you use Dark Pact, it explodes the last applied curse and does a multiplier based on how many total curses there are. So it strips 1 curse and then pops doing its damage times the amount of curses that were active.
Gotcha.
So you can like triple pop it if you have 3. You can pop and reapply to do more single target damage, things like that. And it shotguns, so all the mobs that are kind of condensed, it grows with density as well, similar to like Lightning Fury and things like that, right? You curse a bunch of mobs, they're all directly on top of each other. You pop them all, and they all kind of do like an AoE around themselves. And it shotguns other mobs, so it's kind of a cool little fun ability. We've also done a lot of things to like say charge, for example. Charge was kind of
what have you done to charge besides fix the bugs of it?
So we fixed all the bugs basically, and we also made it so you can use it in melee range.
Okay.
So
instead of charging in and then just going,
and then walking backwards, you can just actually charge consistently. So it'll just keep charging in melee basically, like infinitely.
Nice.
And besides that, we fixed a lot of the jank and the bugs, so it doesn't have all those weird getting stuck bugs and things like that, right? It just actually, and it doesn't desync or lag anymore either. Like online, you used to desync and lag and rubber band constantly.
Yep.
So that wasn't obviously ideal.
Yeah.
So we've kind of fixed a lot of that.
That's nice. I see up in the top left here, corruption spreads in the Flare Jungle and Flare Dungeon. Is this just Terror Zones?
It's basically Terror Zones, yeah. The one difference between ours and Terror Zones is that we only bring it to level 85 because obviously we have an endgame system.
Yeah, you've got your
maps that goes beyond 85.
Yeah.
And we have Worldstone shards in PD2, which are basically like the Val orbs and PoE that allow you to corrupt items. So corrupted zones have a much higher chance to draw Worldstone shards. So if you're ever like short on corruption orbs, basically, then you just go to these zones and you can farm these LOD zones and get a bunch of Worldstone shards and then go corrupt your items, right?
Gotcha. Which I do think is a cool. I always like having kind of meaning to areas. So I really do like that you're, giving that, putting that into Diablo 2 here as well, which already kind of existed in Diablo 2 in its own way, right? It's like, if you want to farm high runes, these are your better spots. If you want to farm this, these are your better spots. And so, just the more things that kind of push you around to different maps, I always find to be better, as opposed to, again, many modern ARPGs nowadays, where it does feel like you're just kind of shoved always to the end game, always to the just like always to an end game map or something. And it's like, it's nice to kind of bring you back into the game and incorporate, all these zones again. So that's why I like Terror Zones, and I think this is a nice way to additionally further push Terror Zones. Right. Okay, so let's talk season 11. So you've gone through 10 seasons here. You've done all sorts of adjustments, and we are at the point of season 11. Talk to me.
Yeah.
What's our stuff?
So season 11's got a bunch of stuff. I guess here I'll do a little smooth transition, but we've added a little
demo and such.
So we've added controller support. Is one thing. It's seamless controller support as well. So, for example, I'm currently on my mouse, right? You can see me moving my mouse. As soon as I touch my joystick at all, it instantly swaps to controller mode.
Nice.
You don't got to change settings or anything like that.
Yeah.
My cursor's a little slow because I'm a boomer, but you can adjust the sensitivity if you want to go faster and stuff like that.
Some real
people make fun of me because
speed of it.
Yeah, people make fun of me because I'm not a controller player, so I got the sensitivity on low. So don't mind me being a bit of a boomer. But you can LBRB through the panels. It functions like a mouse while you're in this.
Nice.
You can assign your hotkeys, do whatever you want to do, right? Your LT, things like that. And we have a little bit of a different take on the console controls as opposed to say like D2R. I think D2R is a little bit more of a traditional, like you move with the joystick and you kind of attack what's close to you.
Right.
So we've done a little bit of a different take where it functions like a twin stick shooter. If you've played any of those.
Yep.
So you aim with the right stick and you move with the left stick. So you actually have full control of your character and how you play.
Okay, I like
and
that.
you can actually control the aiming distance based on how far you push the joystick.
Really?
So if you wanted to make like so if you want to do like a short telly, you slightly push the right joystick. If you want to do a long telly, you really push the right joystick, right?
Nice.
And so you can kind of control how far you want to go with that.
Yeah. I like that. Adding a bit of a skill ceiling to that right there, as opposed to it just being, you know, what it is, right? Of this is your telly.
I've not hit that ceiling. I can't. Yeah, so you can kind of go a little bit.
Yeah.
Or you can go a lot, right? Based on how much you push. So you can control it too. So it's kind of nice.
That's super sweet. Also, I really love the if you go to the waypoint, all of the buttons just being to a location right there, just for like a really quick jump to a different one, right? It'd be like so you could get so good and so fast at moving around to whichever, like as opposed to
we're already making jokes that controller support players are going to be faster in UI,
right? Like I mean you can be much faster in the UI now. It feels like for that, as opposed to trying to go through with the mouse and keyboard there. That's just brilliant. I love that. Yeah, I love that. That's a fantastic addition. I mean, there's a lot of good little quality of life additions like that. I mean, even like if you look at the potions, you can see, it shows how many potions you have in your belt at the very top of the, at the belt there and stuff. Like that's a really cool little add-on and stuff. You can see the skills that you've got, and then you can see, I think, do you guys have it as well where you can see like the number of charges you have and stuff on your strike?
Yeah. So
for like assassin.
Yeah, so I can show you. We do. So I can show you with Barbarian Frenzy, for example.
Yeah.
You can see right here it's showing how many charges I'm at, that progressive bar.
Yeah.
So the bar will just fill more and more the more charges I get. Now I'm at max charges.
That's fantastic.
I can level up more and then
yada
yada. And then as I level up, I can get more charges. So now it's reset to realize that there's a higher cap to my Frenzy cap. So
wow.
Now I'm scaling back up.
That's crazy.
You also see all your buffs, anything you want, right? Maybe
I was gonna say
or something.
Give like a battle order shout.
What
about the experience shrine?
Shouts?
Will it show a duration of that?
It doesn't show shrines. We've debated putting shrines in there a few times. We got to make icons, though. That's one thing we'd have to do if we want to do that.
Okay.
But that is something that's been on our radar.
Okay.
You can also shout in town if you want to buff.
You can what? Oh, shout in town.
Yeah, you can buff in town.
That's actually really nice.
You can enchant in town, shout in town. Enchant's also changed, so it's AoE now, as opposed to having to click every individual person. It kind of functions like Battle Orders a bit, where when you enchant, it enchants everyone in an AoE around you.
That's super sweet.
So it's just one in. Yeah, you just tell your party group up for enchant, they group up and you enchant once.
That's actually super nice to have. So I just there's a lot of super nice low quality of life. Anyways, continue on. Season 11. So we've got socketed throwing there. We've got some new pieces. What else do we have here?
We got a bunch of stuff.
Give us more spoilers.
So something else so we've also one thing people have been asking a lot about is, because obviously D2R has it, they want us to split up the personal and shared gold, because we do have shared stash tabs on P2 for anyone that's not familiar, right? You can even mouse wheel them just like this. You can click on them, you can do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
And these again they function online, they function offline now too as well in season 11, which they didn't previously. And then so we split up the shared bank and the personal bank just so people can have a little bit of both. And then we also added a new currency tab.
What?
Which I think a lot of people will appreciate.
There's a currency tab?
There is now a currency tab. And the way it functions is you can pull out one item at a time, you can pull it out to your mouse one at a time, you can pull out 5 at a time, you can pull out 20 at a time, or you can pull out 50 at a time. And it also functions familiar to the affinity systems they're called in PoE, where let's just say, for example, I take all of one component out, so these jewel fragments here, right?
Yeah.
And I go to a completely different page and I try to insert it into my stash. It automatically goes to my currency tab, no matter where I deposit it. So it still goes to here. So yeah, you have all of your materials all pre-sorted and automatically sent to the stash. So if I end a run and I just have all these random materials or whatever,
you can just
I can just be on here and I can put my cranium basher here, and I can also just deposit all my currency, and it's all just automatically sorted. And I don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about like, oh, I don't want to pick up flawless because then I got to micromanage my inventory. It's like, oh, I'll just pick them up and shotgun in my stash, right?
Dude, I'm so jealous now.
Yeah.
D2R, come on. They're doing this. What are you guys doing? That looks gorgeous too. I really love the design.
It's good aesthetic, right? The team did a great job.
Yeah, that's a really nice aesthetic. But gosh dang. And I have to say, like, this system as well, compared to season 1 of breaking everything out, this just feels a lot nicer, being able to just like
so much better.
Click one out, or click 20.
Yeah, and you can still do that if you want to like split from stacks or whatever you want to do, right? You can still do all those.
Well, we couldn't do it at that point. We had to do it all in the cube.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Season 1, it was all the cube. I forgot.
Season 1, everything had to be done in the cube. So you'd take your perfect gem stack, you'd put it in the cube, you'd cube it, and then you'd get one off of it. And then you'd do it, you'd remove that, you'd do it again, you get another one off of it, and then putting it together. And then you had to convert the gem from the type, right? So if it was not a stackable, you have to convert it to be a stackable flawless gem first to then stack it with another one and stuff.
Yeah, so it's very different from how it was back then. We still do have the stack first non-stack system. Maybe eventually we'll phase that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't have all the micromanagement in between. You just kind of have like a safety stack one and a non-safety non-stack one at this point, I guess.
Wow, that's insane. I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Hey, you don't gotta be jealous. You just gotta log on season 11,
Yeah, I gotta get on season 11, man. This is gorgeous. Holy cow.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah. Erlen always does all our art stuff, like all this UI and stuff.
Yeah.
It's all done by Erlen. Erlen just does a job, especially even these controller buttons. Like, we had the original Xbox buttons, and they look a little goofy because they're just Xbox buttons on Diablo, and then Erlen Diablo'd them up. So,
Erlen, you want to come do some stuff on LOM RPG? What's up?
So never mind. I'm getting off the stream.
Oh, this is gorgeous. Okay, what else? What else does season 11 have for us? That's some pretty big stuff already. WASD, new currency tab, all this. What else you got? Any other spoilers?
Yeah, so we also have WSD, like you mentioned as well, for people. I don't know if we mentioned it yet because I just talked about controller briefly, but
I guess WSD controller support. And WSD support added in.
Yeah. I think a lot of people think that the two are like directly the same, but there's definitely a lot of different work involved in implementing either or.
Fair.
They're very different beasts. They seem like they'd be very the same, but once you dive into it, they're very different animals.
Yeah.
The team pumped out WSD actually a lot quicker than I would have expected, and then jumped into controller support, and controller support has just been a crazy amount of work. Like they've been grinding on it like mad.
Dang. So, well, good job, team. Good job on that.
Big shout to them.
Yeah, this looks great. Okay, new rune words, new uniques, anything there?
Yes. So we have a lot of new uniques and rune words actually.
Okay.
Suppose I could show some of them here.
If you want, yeah.
Yeah, we also have there's also some pictures on the things I've linked to as well. Mm-hmm. But basically we have like one new rune word called Epiphany, which is a new rune word shield, and it basically gives you a level of energy shield when you use it and a bunch of other stats. So if you want to try to build something
like level 27 static on Struck or something, right?
Yes, it gives you a high level static. Yeah, so static works a little bit different in PD2.
Okay.
It has less of a flat HP removal, and it's capped much higher. So it's capped very high in hell. but it does apply a negative lightning res debuff. So it's less about the HP removal in PD2, and more about the minus lightning res debuff, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
So it functions a little bit different. It still gives you a little bit of that HP removal, but it's very limited in how much it does. It's not like that's super overpowered. Yeah. You pump the HP down kind of thing. So,
right.
It's a little bit more of a support skill as opposed to a nuke them into call range type skill.
Honestly, probably a better implementation of the skill if I'm gonna be true.
Yeah, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. It's fun. It's fun staticking things, but it kind of like it's a bit odd in a game where the whole thing is about like having a power progression. You have the skill that bypasses that.
Yeah.
By just being like crushing blow on steroids, basically.
Yeah. Okay, I see there's a Sky Warden here, a new unique shield. What was kind of the thought there?
So the concept of Sky Warden was basically we just wanted to add something that's kind of oriented towards natural Ordens.
Okay.
But still useful in other classes, basically. I feel like in general, like natural Ordens have kind of been overlooked for whatever reason in the entirety of Diablo 2.
Okay.
Like Tesladins and
yeah.
natural Holy Fire Dins. Like people typically when they do play them, they play like itemized versions like Double Dream or Dragon Hodge or things like that. Right? You don't see a lot of like natural Ordens, so
right.
We wanted to add a little bit of support for that, basically.
Yeah, this level 35 Cyclone armor on block is also pretty disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if that'll make it exactly to live with those levels. We're gonna have to test it more and see if it's overpowered.
Cyclone armor.
Yeah. Also, on block is a new stat we added to PD2 as well. You only had it on struck back in LD, so it's just kind of
that's
a cool little change as well, right?
That's a cool change right there. Though, like paladins are always max block, it feels like and stuff. So that's just that's gonna be
the block stats. Yeah, the block stat's not exclusive to only paladin shields, but
gotcha.
It again, like you mentioned, it just synergizes well with the paladin toolkits.
Yeah, for sure. We've got Whispering Mirage right here.
Yeah, that one's one that people have kind of been asking. People have wanted some type of Shadow Sin support for a while.
Interesting. You can summon an additional shadow. Nice.
Correct, yeah. So if you dual wield them, you can have up to 3. Cool. Something I've realized, honestly, the longer I've worked on ARPGs is people want to play the laziest builds possible, and summoners, if they're viable in any shape or form, are just like the most popular playstyle by far.
So I write for Icy Veins, right? All the guides on Icy Veins for Diablo 2 are mine.
Yeah.
And I recently went into the analytics of it. My summoner guide is twice as popular as the next guide. Every other guide. Yeah, they like scale up at like a normal amount, and you've got, your Hammerden and your Blizz Source and your Javazon, right? All those kind of there. And then the Necro Summoner is literally double that of the best other performing guide. I was like, what?
And they're not even that crazy in law. Like they're good. But they're not that good. They're not that good,
Yeah. No. Everybody wants to be lazy. I was blown away.
Nah, trust me. We talk about it all the time. We're always like it's just something we've accepted over time that summons are just too popular and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I see you brought Constricting Ring back in, though adjusted greatly.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so it's a 20 FCR ring. Wow. With life
we wanted
kill,
to give it some kind of identity.
Drain 20. Interesting. So
yeah.
that's really
Yeah,
right.
So the original one, the thematic it had was it's got 1 million overtune stats of everything and then drain life. So
right.
Kind of ripped all the overtune stats off, kept the thematic drain life, and then tried to give it some identity. So its identity is that it's the only 20 FCR ring, basically, right? But it has a pro and a con to it, which is the drain life offset by the life after kill, right?
Yep, so you kind of got to be going. I think this is a much better implementation than 100 all resistance,
Well, it also had 15 max res, right, to every res. It was balanced. 100 MF? Come on.
Jeez. So broken. Fire Lizards. Looks like you adjusted it. Just some more fire.
This one's been through a few iterations at this point. Also
Okay.
added the chance to cast level 40 Blaze on block. So Blaze in PD2 gives you a bunch of move speed.
Okay. So
And it
similar to
gives you cannot be
D2R, but
frozen.
yeah.
Oh, do they have move speed on D2R now as well?
Yeah, they put D2R
They,
Blaze
they stole
Blaze
our idea.
gives move speed. I don't know which came first. They've had it for a
Ours
little
came
bit
with.
now.
No, ours came before D2R existed.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well then yes, they literally played it and were like, this is exactly what it should be, and they adjusted it because yeah, it's like I love Inferno strides. They're so good now because you get that little every time you get hit and that turns on, you're like woo, you just run around.
Yeah, so I just thought it was kind of an interesting one because obviously Sins have weapon block. So it's kind of like a fun thing you
Yeah,
can either use with a shield or with weapon block.
yeah.
Get a little move speed in CBF.
Ebon Bane, a new GMB, or maybe not new for you guys, but new over here. 5 to passive and magic skills. Wow. So this is your...
Yep.
You may apply an additional curse. So
Yep.
Zon's curse now?
Well, this one in particular, you can't curse through through like casting yourself unless you have a lower res wand or something, but it's just through itemization. So the apply additional curse also means your merc could also apply an additional curse or an ally. It doesn't.
Okay.
It basically means that your curse that you apply allows an additional curse from any source to be applied on top of it.
Got it.
So you could have a merc with amp. You could have a merc with lower res. You could have lower res on your gear. Whatever.
And then you also have this chance to
whatever.
cast weaken here. So I suppose that goes along.
Yeah, basically, it just allows the item to apply its weaken thing without reducing itemization choices for curses on other slots, basically.
Wow.
And Pat, if you aren't aware, we actually have summons on in PD2.
Okay. How many Valks can you get?
You can get up to 3 Valks.
Nice.
And you can also have multiple decoys. And the way the decoy functions is kind of like a sin trap almost. You place them and they shoot strafe. So they're like strafe traps, if that makes sense.
Nice.
So you're walking around, you're summoning your Valks, you're placing strafe traps. And then typically summons-ons are hybrids where they're also either strafing or multi-shotting or power striking themselves.
Sure.
So it's kind of like an active fight with your summons and summon decoys playstyle. It's very hybrid. It almost feels like a summoner trapper also still playing a Zon build, if that makes sense. But there's so many ways you can play it, so
I want to play that.
It's very modular.
I'm like,
it's very, very popular and very modular.
Like you said, summons. Everybody wants summons. And then,
what
is this?
It's also cool for active play.
PvP contestant HP overlay for spectators? Hold on, you have spectating in PvP?
Oh yeah, I could show you actually here. But so basically, if you look at the bottom left, there's 2 health bars at the bottom left. When you enter the spectate mode, I'm not online currently, so I won't be able to show you the spectate bar. But in that image in particular, there are 2 HP bars at the bottom left. And when you're in spectate mode, the people that are dueling we have duel arenas, right? So you go to these instant duel arenas.
Okay.
And when you're in spectate mode in these duel arenas, you can see the health bars of other people on the UI. So you can kind of watch how much HP they're losing if you're hosting a PvP tournament or if you're just doing pub games, without actually having to actively hover over them. And so basically the way these duel arenas work is inside these duel arenas, we have kind of these 2 tombs. And one thing that we've done is that because we have these PvP duel arenas, in the LOD environment, the PvP functions the same as it would in LOD. The skills aren't heavily modified outside of the PvP modifiers that are in the base game.
Yeah.
But when you enter the arena, we're actually able to individually balance skills. So this tomb, for example, shows the PvP arena modifiers, which allows us to independently balance PvP based on how strong it is in PvE. So you can see Immo Arrow at the top left does 155% damage in PvP.
Tornado is 35% damage? Dang, you just crushed it.
Yeah, so again, that's because some things are very strong in PvE and need to be balanced independently. So a lot of this is done through community feedback and things like that.
Wow.
And then we also have PvP arena rules, which are also heavily modified. So things like life replenish or flat magic physical damage right here where my mouse is are capped at 25 and 30. because back in LOD you have basically what people call GM rules, and they're basically player enforced and expected of everyone, right? So we've just basically taken these GM rules and we've made them function by default with the arena, and then we've exposed what those rules are in the tombs so that people can see them.
Got it.
And again, a lot of that comes from community feedback and things like that. And then we've gone even further where there's PvP vendors, and the PvP vendors actually sell mana pots that can only be used in the PvP arena that cost 1 gold, so you don't have to pool people.
Okay.
Because obviously people burn through a lot of gold pooling, as they call it, potions for people. And we also have PvP charms, which show these little PvP things. So for people that aren't geared and want to PvP with their friends, they can purchase charms that only work in the duel arena for gold as well.
Got it.
So if
and
you
so
want
they're just like 115, so they're not perfect, but they're
correct. Yeah. So you still have some progression where you can find better charms, but it gives you something to start with, at least, right?
That's actually a really cool idea.
And then on top of that, to go even further, in hardcore mode, if you die in the PvP arena, you still respawn. So if you want to duel in hardcore mode, you can actually still duel in hardcore mode in the arena.
Okay.
And then, like I mentioned, we have the spectator mode. So when you enter spectator mode, your character, oops, I did a cap, sorry. When you enter spectator mode, you go invisible.
Nice.
You can't be targeted. You can't deal damage. You can't take damage.
But you can just go look
you can just go look and watch and see people duel and not get in the way and stuff like that, right? So even if you're, the cool thing about spectator mode is that you don't have to constantly hostile, unhostile people. Right? You can just hostile everyone in the game, and if you want to go watch, you just spectate, right?
Wow.
So it's kind of nice for that as well. It's also good if you know, some people like doing tournaments and stuff like that, so they can kind of follow them around and do all that stuff.
Man, if only Blizzard had the budget and time and everything that you guys have. Just think of what
we have no budget.
Yeah, exactly.
And no time.
They didn't have billions of dollars and everything. That's ridiculous, man. This is beautiful. I mean, many of these pieces I have never seen, and obviously, you know, stuff like the currency tab and stuff new to season 11, nobody had seen. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. P2's just gotten to the point where there's layers upon layers upon layers.
Yeah.
Different things, right?
Are we going to have to play some season 11, you guys? Are we going to have to really dive in and have some fun on it? This is crazy.
You got to get in there.
This is crazy. Yeah, let's make a GoFundMe for Blizzard so they can maybe start to implement some of the awesome stuff you guys have. That's wild. Anything else that you'd like to share with season 11 here? Or PD2 as a whole?
I think. I mean, there's so much stuff. Like we season 11. We've added also, if you're familiar with like divine orbs from PoE. We also added like a divine orb essentially. It's gonna be quite rare, but they're in there as well. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, there's so much new stuff, honestly. We've added somewhere close to 10 new uniques in the upcoming season. We got multiple rune words. We've got the currency tab, WSD support, controller support, all kinds of cool stuff. The list kind of goes on and on. I honestly, if anyone's never played P2, I highly recommend you check it out. You can also check out the wiki and kind of comb through our patch notes from the previous season. There's a lot.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I've been so down the rabbit hole after 11 seasons that like it's at a point where it's hard for me to know where to stop because we've feature creep this mod to the point where it's crazy amounts of things.
Yeah. Well, I have to say there's plenty of power creep and feature creep and things like this, but I do think especially a lot of the pieces that you've been implementing here, controller support of WSD and how you've implemented that to actually function looks fantastic. The dual arena looks amazing. The currency tab is, I mean, just like these sorts of things I 1000% can get behind. You know, it's not like you're just making every skill clear the entire map or anything. You are you're creeping the game in a way that really improves it and just makes it a better experience. So hats off to you guys for that. You know,
anytime we have outliers too, we just pull them, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes too, like there have been seasons where like people will not play a certain skill, so we overbuff it a little bit.
Yep.
Just to get people's attention on it, and then once people play it, we kind of pull it back a little bit, if that makes sense. Kind of like the classic, the ARPG mind games. So, and then once we do pull it back, people realize, oh, it's actually already good before they buffed it.
Right.
But now we're aware because it's been overtuned for a season, right?
Yeah.
So a little bit of that does happen here and there. When I really want to get people playing something.
I must say your motto, what do you call it, whatever, mindset around nerfs, I think is the proper mindset that really does have to be had by devs, but is not had by so many devs and game companies nowadays, and it's what really kills it, which is nerfs are good and they're totally fine and necessary. This is such a strong belief of mine, where you've seen so many games afraid to nerf things because everybody yells when stuff gets nerfed. And so then they just don't. And then it keeps growing and power creeping until the game really loses an identity. And I absolutely love when companies come in and just nerf things. And that's something that I really felt like in Dota was where I saw it, one of the best, in a similar mindset that you had there, where, oh, this character is not being played enough. We're going to kind of overbuff them a little bit, get people playing the character. Then we'll remove it again, and people will still be there because they'll be like, oh, actually the character is fine. And so, it's a great way that you can like shift people around through different characters. You can have people, experiment, try different things, but the overall power of the game isn't just growing to be ridiculous where every character is constantly just overpowered nonstop, So, I think that's a really nice, a really good mindset to have, to just really say, hey, we're going to be nerfing this and it'll be fine. People will still play it, and then we'll adjust if we do it too much,
Yeah, exactly. And people will always complain when you nerf things. It's just a byproduct of how it goes. Right?
Just how it goes. What's this hatred thing? What's that?
I can show you. So this is one of the new boss fights, basically. That we added in Season 10. This is Lucian. Wasn't it? Oh, it's because I opened the map.
Okay, and I just typed .god mode, and then I can't die? Is that so?
I'm having an issue. Apparently I found a bug.
Impossible.
Huh. Alright, I found a bug apparently.
Alright, new bug.
It's
always fun. You have to always find one bug on a live stream. That's just like... I was waiting for you to find one. You need to go to the fountain, Senpai.
Oh yeah, derp. What am I doing? Here we go. I got thrown off by the red text version there. I thought I was bugging out. Yeah, this is the new boss we added in Season 10. This is actually Lucian. This custom art made by Erlen as well.
I was going to say, where'd you get this awesome art? What?
Yeah, this is all, the level was made by Erlen, the model's made by Erlen, everything.
Erlen, hit me up. Wow.
I'm cheating, so it's different, but basically he goes invisible at certain phases, and he spawns portals. And then you'll fight the different mobs, and the portals will keep spawning. And then after a while, he'll come out of Invis again. And you can kind of see, once he dies, you can enter this new area here, which is the Temple of the Triune.
Okay.
And from here, we have the Sacrificial Altar.
Nice.
Which, I need an amulet for. Just cheat real quick here. Basically, you can take an amulet, right?
Yep.
And you can corrupt it and get an affix, right? So in this example, we got poison res as our affix, right?
Right.
And then you can put it on the sacrificial altar, and you can actually double corrupt the item.
What?
But you can only do this for amulets. It can't be done on anything else, only amulets.
Okay.
But there is a very high chance that the item gets bricked as well. So
I was gonna say, yeah. Does it have the chance to brick again?
It does, and then so you see here, I got my
Oh,
Dokuzan, and now it's gotten custom art because it's been desecrated.
and you got 40
And you can
ED
see
as
the
well.
gray.
Yo.
I got 40 ED, yeah. And so
Dang.
yeah, this one's also mirrored on top. Someone mirrored this as well. So this has been
Oh my
corrupted,
god.
desecrated, and mirrored. And you can
2
see
all
this one hit
skills,
all
2
skills
pally
twice.
skills. Jesus.
So this one's just survived all of the different trials and tribulations.
Wow. That's crazy. That's just an insane amulet. Also dexterity, also some life and rest, also faster run walk.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Just a crazy amulet.
Yeah.
So that's like a giga biz. And then you can also get all these little chests too from completing it. So you get kind of like a handful of super chests too that you can kind of mess around with.
Nice.
Just a little fun fight.
Sweet. What's that portal? This black portal. Is that just to that zone?
That's just that zone, yeah.
Gotcha.
So this boss fight has the black portals. The Wrathman fight has blue portals.
Nice.
And there's no portals really in the Diablo clone fight except for we have these like gold victory portals for the Ubers. So it's got a gold victory.
Wow.
So they all got there's a bunch of different recolored portals. Yeah, we even have things too like we have unique ID and 2 TP tombs. I don't know if you played since we had those.
Nope.
But you can even get like you can get a unique ID tomb. So let's just say, for example, I had like 30 unique amulets in my inventory, right? My inventory is full of unique amulets.
Yeah.
And I found this unique Roderick Almanac. It has unlimited charges, and when you right-click it, it functions like Kane. So it IDs everything in my inventory. Yeah, it's quite rare, but if you do get one, it IDs everything in your inventory at once.
That's sick.
We also have the unique TP book, and that also just has unlimited quantity as well.
Yep.
So you get unlimited TP portals.
Love it.
So you can even get unique ID and TP books.
That's sick. Which is something that like I've always wanted. I always thought like just cube a Zod with a book or something to make it, but I like the idea of it also being a unique that just exists out there. Like that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. We even have someone mentioned in the chat. We even have a unique key, which is a skeleton key, and it also has unlimited charges as well. So there's even a unique key.
Yeah, that's perfect. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. This is a very impressive mod. You guys have done a lot since I've seen it. Even again, this 4 or 5 years ago. I guess I did a tiny bit on like season 3 maybe, and maybe dabbled, for a few minutes on like season 7 or something. But I have not really played hardcore within it, mostly since D2R, just because I like D2R a lot. It's got nice graphical changes and all that. But I mean, you guys did improve the graphics here. It looks like somewhat as well in LOD. So.
Yeah, we have up-res graphics. We also have uncapped FPS, so you can do your 160 FPS or whatever you want. So if you pay attention, like the snow on my screen, probably not translating because we're on Discord. It's slow FPS.
No, it actually is pretty.
But yeah, you can still have high FPS. It doesn't matter. And then obviously we still have like HD text stuff like that as well. So the text has all been HD'd.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to D2GL for that. Cool software.
Nice. Well, Senpai, it has been an honor getting to talk with you about all of this. Season 11 coming May 16th. What time? What time is launch?
It's going to be May 16th, 10 a.m. PST. So
10 a.m. PST. So noon Central, 1 o'clock Eastern. European, 6 o'clock or something, 7 o'clock, somewhere around there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Depends where you're at in Europe.
Depends where you're at,
Yeah, that is awesome. I will put a link down below. It's always just projectdiablo2.com probably or whatever. Let me see. Yep, projectdiablo2.com. Additionally, I will link the Patreon down below if you would like to support the endeavor, as they have put a lot of good work into this. So, oh, that's cool. Vial of Light song.
Yeah, we also have the Lilith Smear as well, if you want a legit dupe.
Yeah. Legit dupe. Beautiful. So GG. This is awesome work. Awesome work by you guys. Very excited. I will definitely dive in and play around a little bit more on this because there's a lot of cool changes. And God, I love the currency tab. That is, what a quality of life addition.
PT is one of those things, the more you play, the more you'll realize the quality of life. And as soon as you go back to the unmodded version, you'll really miss all the quality of life.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little afraid of that almost.
I think a lot of people are.
Yeah. Blizzard,
I also want to give a
some ideas. Go ahead.
Yeah, I also want to give a shout out to my my dev team and my moderation team and everyone as well, because yeah, obviously it's taken a lot of people to happen.
Yeah, shout out to the whole PD2 team. GG, guys.
As well as the community as well, keeping us around. Appreciate y'all.
There you go. Shout out to everybody. Everybody who's been involved in this mod in any capacity.
That's right.
Thanks for keeping D2 alive in other ways as well besides base.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It really looks like a cool work of art here. So keep it up. I look forward to it. And any final words, Senpai?
No, see you in season 11, Llama. Come on. I want to see you kill Lucian and Rathmo.
All right. I will see you in season 11. GG.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yep.
I appreciate you. And it's good catching up. It's been a minute.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We'll chat again soon.
Get you on the next one.
All right. Peace.
Ciao.
Well, that is your daily dose of Diablo with a pretty good look at Project Diablo 2 and then Season 11 upcoming. Blown away with some of those changes and even more blown away at how they have blown Blizzard away in terms of what they've been able to do. And again, it's not even all just like power creep and things like that. Just like the amount of quality of life content and stuff that they've added. God. It's depressing a little bit, isn't it? Anyways, that is your daily dose of Diablo. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, YouTube. Peace. All right. Let's play some Diablo 2. We're still here, everybody. This is just, that was just for that. We'll go play some Diablo 2 now. Fun interview. Shout out to Senpai for joining us. PD2 speedruns win. I actually did some PD2 speedruns back in the day. Kane, LPU, Darth Maulers, thank you for the Prime. Darth Maulers with the gifted sub to J Crazy. Training Pokemon with the sub. Paladine with the sub. And the Invincible with the raid. Thank you guys very much. TTS re-enabled. I just want to mute it for, interviews and things like that. Feels like... the better thing to do. Okay. Game capture. Let me go here, go here. Probably still running, yeah. Recently had a long flight, so I picked up Slay the Spire on mobile. Turns out it lives up to the hype. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. That was a pretty fun game. Did I reschedule MVS already? It hasn't quite been rescheduled yet. The main reason is baby Lilith and Dariel is still kind of going through sleep regression stuff. She woke up, like 4 times last night and stuff. So it'll probably be we're gonna shift her into I wonder if I just want to like do this instead. We're probably going to shift her into like sleep training stuff really soon, and then hopefully if she takes to that, she's 6 months. Hopefully if she takes to that, then it'll be a better, easier transition. Give me money. Okay, super chest right here. Ring. Nice. Big money off super chest. Oh, nothing. That's sad. Well, I can shop a +1 to teeth. Okay, so we talked about changing the strategy up for this. I think we also talked about not even doing the den, right? But I don't have a timer going. What am I doing? Oh, now I do actually. Hold up. Okay. All right, timer is running and has been running the whole time.
I sense death within this place.
So, not doing den. Because I also want to think. Okay. Yeah, I feel like if I don't do den, and I force Rakinishu to like 12 or whatever. 13, I guess, honestly.
Not enough mana.
Then there's definitely some questions to be had. Yeah, get a +1, do tower to 15, 16. I have to get the wand early though. So it's probably just run straight to Raka. Could be a thought. This is also like not a terrible start right here. Let's see if we get some money.
You ever notice how the rogues keep calling
What?
it the Den of Evil even after you've supposedly cleansed it? What gives?
True. What gives? Okay, I mean, that's a pretty nice start, getting +2 to teeth. It's like, it's not evil anymore. So. Yeah, we're gonna be really short on like potions right now. We'll have to just force some stuff with that.
I can't.
Say the den of no evil, it's cleared. What are you talking about? The den formerly known as evil. That would be much more respectful. Much more respectful. Okay, let's find Raka. And then let's see if we get a waypoint next to him at all. Not looking like a waypoint. Again, a pretty sweet start for a non-exact start of what we were aiming for, but... Actually gonna grab my summon here. And we'll swap over to the skill shrine.
I can't.
That experience shrine's running thin now.
Impossible. I can't.
You got +2 to T. Really nice. Barrier preserved head.
I need mine.
One to teeth. Wow. Literally for a run I almost just restarted because I first off didn't have the timer going, but it actually was. But also I was like, wait, I want to do Rakinishu strats.
Impossible.
Now I'm pretty thankful about it actually. Pretty sweet run thus far.
Impossible.
See how it continues, I guess.
I can't. Impossible.
That's level 2. Well, hold up. Now I'm a little confused. What do you want from me, game? Are you gonna cut down over here? This is a dead end, right? Kind of annoying me. Yeah, it was good until this map sucked. Unfortunate.
Impossible. I can't.
Still nice. I mean, it's a little bit, you know, that slowed us down a little bit for sure.
I can't.
From the God start there, but otherwise. Pretty decent. Probably don't care for tree head to be fair. Archers.
It's locked.
I do kind of want to fight the archers.
I can't. Impossible.
I did the den, yes. Alright, see if there's any waypoint. Oh, I don't have a scroll of town portal. Shoot. Hope the waypoint is close, I guess. Or there we can drop one here or something. Shrine waypoint. Okay. And another waypoint. Try and force an experience shrine in the future, maybe. This is also slightly problematic, actually, because I should have gone home for mana potions. So, yeah, it may end up being a reset. It started hot, but it fell quickly. The really nice thing is I do have +3 to teeth still. So that is still pretty big. Champion archers, no thank you. If we get Talith first try, this is amazing. Well, the big issue is we're kind of low on experience. So Talith first try
I can't.
is like cool, but then you just sit there going, great, but
Not enough mana.
where do I get my experience? I need the level. I'd have to run and get like a jail level 1 setup or something, you know?
Not enough mana.
I'm actually gonna kill this guy because
I need mana.
I need potions. Hope he's up 4 mana potions. 2. More champions.
Not enough mana.
It's a rough one. Okay, I mean, again, 3 to teeth is pretty solid, so
Greetings.
I have oops, reason to continue there with that. You're there, a little bit of cold res. Sure, why not? It is the Black Marsh, but with 2 shrines, I feel we can try and force a little more. But you can see there's more shrines that can roll here, so much better to have it on your Stony Field or so many armor shrines. Cold Plains.
Good day.
Sold the cold res. It was only 8. Alright, I'll take a skill shrine, I guess. I suppose I will take a skill shrine.
I am overburdened.
Cold Enchanted Archers. What really sucks most is there's not that many minions for these Cold Enchanted Archers.
Not enough mana. I need mana.
Really the most disappointing part of it.
I need mana.
We get a few more of them. Very much, Master.
I can't.
Yeah, the run still has some promises.
Impossible.
I don't mind doing like 3 runs, you know, so that would be fine. Ugh, a lot of ugly champions. And death, so don't love that.
Hello.
Chance to cast when you kill an enemy, proc using spells. Yeah, it should. It's just on any kill.
I can't do that here.
There we go. There's one. Okay.
Impossible.
I will pop the super.
It's locked.
So popping a super chest can be nice, just as a way to grab a couple extra chip gems. Because sometimes you get one, but I've gotten up to like 3 chip gems in a super chest before, so you can really get some nice stuff there. Darn, no boss group that time. Yeah, so just getting some good levels here will be focus. And obviously getting Taleth. I'd say I could do a 4th look as well, to be honest. I think that would also work.
I can't carry anymore.
If I want to put sapphires up in there, an extra 10 mana is really nice.
I can't.
Sapphire, then ruby. I think I'll just go sapphire for now. I do have Rao runes as well, so that could be useful later on for just those purposes. We could also, if we drop a tier rune, we could put a tier rune in. A lot of possibilities for it. It's a nice experience run for us. Very nice experience shrine. Tala. Nephral. Man.
Good day.
This sucks.
Greetings.
That sucks a little bit.
Good day.
I mean, at least we're getting experience shrines.
I am overburdened.
Favorite solo self-found class build at the moment? It's hard to say. I really love a lot. I guess at the moment, the Thorns Necro really is a lot of fun. running edge bow with your golden revives. Really a pretty fun build overall. Okay. Yeah, I really need Talep. Definitely getting to the point here. Where it is time for Talep to materialize.
I can't. I need mine.
Because we're getting still fine experience, but yeah, you don't want to be down here forever.
Impossible.
Why is there no magic minus magic res for necro curses? Yeah. Feels like something they could have added for sure.
I need mine. I can't. Impossible.
That's a tough one, you guys. That's a tough one. I have so many chips, though.
This place has the stench of demons about it.
We just need another ith or the towel. A towel would obviously just be better, but kill most of them and go.
Impossible. I am overburdened. Impossible. I can't carry anymore. I am overburdened. I can't.
Am I gonna play PD2 Season 11? I think I might have to, you guys. There's a lot of really cool stuff they got in there. Might have to go give it a check out.
I am overburdened.
Moo.
Thanks, Mr. Northeast. Alright, here we go, Tal'Rin. Tal'Rin or bust right here, essentially. Okay.
Good day.
It's kind of 3 ists makes a Tal sort of thing, which kind of sucks because we, you know, whatever, but gotta wait till Act 2 to get benefit from it.
This place has the stench of demons about it. I can't.
I have a lot of chip gems.
Impossible.
So,
Impossible. I can't.
oh my god. Okay.
Impossible.
I'm just gonna try and run more,
I can't.
as opposed to stopping and killing all the stuff.
All this for a hammer?
Okay, well, we have another imbue available to us. Maybe I should like turned and shot back on all that stuff. There's a decent amount. No killing death
The
clans. That's
slow
right.
torture of caged starvation.
Death clans are a no-go. Beautiful jail level 1. Come on.
I can't.
Good enough jail level 2. I almost want to keep a white head in case I want to like re-roll one later or something. Like if I, you know, roll a wand and it's godly, then do I imbue a head or do I try and imbue?
I can't.
Ooh, it's for fast runoff. This looks bad.
Impossible.
This is a dead end tile. No, it's not. Okay. Continues up. Ignore me. Alright, let's have the best inner cloister of our lives. Catacombs. Ooh, 2 more chips. I don't know if I know that actually, but I do like the chip gems, so. We're gonna have so many attempts to roll, plus the bone spear. Okay, jail level 3 was top left.
I sense a demonic presence here. Impossible.
So jot that down. Nice. Goal. Sheesh. Yeah. If we don't roll plus to Bone Spear, I'm gonna be mad. Because what the heck? Okay, there's our next level.
I can't.
One more stamina potion, please.
Impossible.
Dang it. I wonder if those zombies are worth. Okay.
I can't.
All right. Again, the trident would have been nice for mercenary. You go there, you go there, and there. We'll just get a regular scythe, though. I guess I have to put this away and make that decision. And you can go there and there. You can go here. Belt. Nothing on that. I should put away the thingamabobber. No scythe? Oh, there was. That's right.
I'll put that to good use.
Okay. Are we holding onto the hammer?
I am overburdened.
For later. No, I'll go imbue a little bit later with it. When I get my wands rolling, and then I can see. Because again, if I roll a +3 Bone Spear wand, then I don't need to hold on to the hammer, and I'm good to go. Right.
Impossible. I can't.
Oh, it really does suck not having the stealth early. That is annoying. I actually like a stamina shrine here because I only have 3 stamina pots, and if I'm out for a bit running, helpful.
Move.
Thank you very much for the sub. Bro, and they keep dropping.
Impossible. Impossible.
They just keep dropping, man. So on our next town visit,
I can't.
we are going to need to go figure everything out with our spears. Our bone spears. Wands, but you know, spears, right? You can go now.
Well,
Okay. And 1409, 205, 1590, 268.
good day.
I have a lot of money, but I have a lot of money potential, so. I'm actually gonna go find my cube first, because then I can make my stealth, and I can start going spears, wands, or bone spear, all that stuff, so.
Impossible.
Seriously, 500 chip gems. If I do not roll plus to bone spear with this many chip gems, this game is completely broken, and I'm done playing it forever. I will never play this game again. Ever. I want you to hold me to that.
Impossible. Impossible.
You won. Long staff. No, it's not. Oh, I'll just become a reaction streamer, exactly.
Where can I take you?
Okay, and
Hello.
you can go there, Tal, and no bone spear there, nothing. Wow, 3 complete whiffs. 1 to Iron Maiden. Ignore turret defense. Okay. Game. Hello. 2 to Bone Prison, 1 Poison Explosion. Okay, game's being a little silly right now, isn't it? Time to quit being silly, game. Oh my god. It's okay. Here we go.
Good day.
Imbue. Bang. 1 to P&B skills. Counts. And... wait, where's your club at? Back to...
Good day.
Read it. Oh my god, it's worth
Greetings.
so much, but a little pathetic. For all those chips, that was a pretty bad set of rolls.
I can't.
A lot of cash. Yeah.
I can't. I can't. I can't. Impossible. I can't.
Unfortunate. Okay. We can teleport all of Act 5, but that would require me hitting 24. And I'm still not certain 24 is the strategy I want to do. Still trying to figure that out. The blood golem.
Impossible. I can't. I can't. I can't. Impossible.
I just can't decide. Do we go level 24?
I can't.
Or
Impossible.
try and rush a fast 18 with it?
Impossible.
I have a bugged rockworm egg in the worst spot.
I can't. I can't. I can't. Impossible. I can't.
Okay, so
I can't.
19 here.
Impossible. I can't.
That's my standard. I've kind of forgotten to do it the last couple times,
Impossible.
but I actually think these work. Maybe help out enough.
I can't. I can't.
Good place to be, level 27. Act 4 to Act 5 on normal.
Impossible. I can't.
And you probably want to do some leveling in Act 5 normal before moving forward.
I can't.
Okay. Act 2 maps have been a little longer than I generally would like. And I think we're gonna see that again here with our Lost City, I think is, yeah. Unfortunately. Also really long. So that does kind of suck. Oh no. I realized as soon as I went down that I never actually checked if it wrapped around there.
I can't.
Crap.
I can't.
Well, that's
Impossible.
really annoying.
Impossible.
It's gonna be a tough one. It hasn't been a great act 2. Kano's Barbon was crazy. Will I
This
DDD
place
it?
is as dark as
Was
a
it
tomb.
the Hell Ubers one or which one? Just the Hell one? Could be down there for sure. And now it feels like that.
Impossible. I can't. Impossible. Impossible.
Yeah, the Claw Viper Temple really just like wraps around so often. So extremely often. There must be something about all the tiles that just like really leans towards doing that.
Impossible. Impossible.
There's my golem.
Good day.
Dead somewhere.
Where can I take you?
Okay. Oh, the sub 4-hour barb, yeah. Dang, 2 to Nova. What's not good is I'm only level 19, but I also don't have good pace. You know? Like right now, I feel like you could be level 20 and a half or something.
Impossible.
And be at this similar time, but it's because you kind of spent some time farming a little and gaining levels, but our speed versus level pacing is not fantastic.
Impossible.
In the door.
Impossible.
So even like a first way and a good tombs, we're still kind
This
of
is
behind. I feel
fantastic.
like.
I
Too many
wish
tower
I
runs
had
with low
time to study
experience.
this bizarre dimension.
I mean, Act 1, we came out okay. But you are kind of right. Through Act 1, we do want to get out faster. You know. If we're going to do, like, you know, if we're going to be only level 17 and change, we want to be a little faster through that. But obviously, it was a little difficult to do that. The 4 tower runs and still no stealth, so that just kind of slows you down a lot. Oh my god, reverse way though. For the first time in forever on the worst run. The first way hits.
Impossible.
Almost don't even want it.
He was not Horizon. He was a deluded fool who got too close to true power.
the run that I was about ready to just hit the reset on. I mean, hey, I love a first wave, but give it to me on the run where I'm like 43 minutes in the arcane, not 49, you know?
Impossible.
Just like the worst place for
Impossible.
the first way is not. It don't feel that great, you know? Probably right above us, isn't it?
I can't.
Ah, I didn't get the tombs.
Good day.
Didn't get the tombs. Ooh, 20 fire res is nice.
Hello.
Blessings to you.
Slow down, Darcy. Darcy. Darcy.
Impossible.
Darcy. Okay, whatever. It almost makes me wonder if
Impossible.
I should just
Impossible. I can't.
like try and level and
Impossible.
go to hell with the run instead and just do that, you know?
Hello.
Impossible.
It's pretty good pacing. But it feels just a little slow for a normal record. The only bad part is I use my tier room. But we have tons of money. So much money. It's kind of wild, actually.
Hello.
Yeah, it's not... The normal record isn't impossible from here. I know, Atma can heal as well. I wasn't thinking on it. Arathis isn't bad. It's only 45 strength too.
Greetings.
Which ain't terrible.
Good to see you.
Yeah, we have so much money. So now it's really just deciding levels. Do I want to stick on low level and rush?
I can't. I am overburdened.
Or try and go a little higher?
Impossible.
Maybe OT.
A worthless statue. Perhaps I can trade this for something better.
2, 3.
It's locked.
Get to 23, telestaff, and then just do. The thing is, telestaff is a pretty, like, you know.
I can't.
It's not the easiest thing to just always get, so. Does this kick over at all? But yeah, if you just happen to get it along the way, right, do a quick check for it, then you could maybe alter your strat to this. It really is a hard run for me to theory craft. I'm not gonna lie. It seems like it's a hard run for everybody to theory craft, though. It's got a lot of wild, different ways that it's being played right now. So we're all trying to figure out what the heck do we actually do here. I thought that would kick over right on the 5. Laxta, thank you very much.
13 Laxta 12 became a member.
Oh my god, the 2 is gonna go up and over. Please tell me there's some wild.
Impossible.
Oh, thank god, okay. Whew.
I can't. Impossible. Impossible. I can't. I can't.
What class is my first world record?
I can't.
Who knows? That's so long ago. And those records have all been broken, 100 times. Speedrunning was, very, very different back then. Pick up a couple stamina pots.
Man, what the hell?
Okay, so 20 is right there. It was almost a terrible map, but thankfully we had the skip present, so that helped a lot.
Impossible.
Ow, 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 ow. Jesus.
I can't.
Oh my god, it's too much. It's too much. I just wanted like a simple, chill, relaxing clear jungle.
I can't.
Jesus.
I can't.
Go get potions.
Greetings. Impossible. Impossible.
Jesus.
Good day.
So crowded. Whenever I want all of that crowd, I can't get it, you know? I'm like, oh, I want all the experience. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's go for a run where we don't kill anything out here. It's like, I think you wanted to have 5,000 soul kills. Is that what you said?
Impossible.
Hold on, we have a big problem. Where is it? Oh, it's over there. Oh my god. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate.
I can't.
Probably right over here to the left. Yep. Okay, that's nice.
I am overburdened.
Okay. Have I touched real llamas? Sure. Pet lots of llamas at the petting zoos.
I can't. I can't.
Act 3 has been pretty nice. The density was a little high there, but otherwise, pretty happy with it.
Impossible.
The game was trying to get my experience caught up. It was. I was trying to play the no experience game, and it wasn't playing along nicely.
Impossible.
Too many things. It has to be right over here. If it's not over here, then I'm lost.
I can't.
Very unfortunate. Kind of an ugly spawn for it, but such is life. Come on.
Impossible. I can't.
Okay. Not a bad level. One of the better level 3s, because you don't have to go anywhere in the top left.
I can't.
Faster boots would be nice. That is true.
Impossible.
Saigon shield.
Greetings.
It's not exactly the guy I was hoping to kill.
Yes?
I can't. I can't carry anymore.
No, stop it.
Is this hardcore?
I can't.
One spear. 3 to summon resist.
I can't. I can't.
Oh boy, oh boy. Again, the biggest issue is just being down on, you know, I'm only level 20 instead of the 22 there. So I'm just really down there for experience.
Good journey, Mephisto. Give my regards to the abyss.
Prison.
What do you need?
I have no boots, no glove, no ammo, no ring. Actually, let's do the H. Q on that. Feels like it was right up there. Don't think it's down here now.
I can't.
It has to be over here to the left. Pretty sure it's guaranteed. Yeah. Okay. on, come on. Let's be fast. Let's be fast, everybody. Right here? Nice.
Impossible.
No! God. Terrible. Oh my god, what do you go around? Wow. You didn't grab your body? Are you kidding? That was the first thing I clicked. Sheesh. GG. Just end me, man. This is one of the difficult parts of this right now. Being kind of under-leveled in a...
Impossible.
in a hard spot. Ah! Too many bridges. It's our third bridge. That's a really bad spawn. And then it also will double bridges as well, so having it down there on this side as well. Yeah, this is a really bad map with bad mobs.
Greetings.
Jesus. What a stinking map, man. That's literally as bad as it gets with that stuff. Terrible spawns. Terrible mobs. Terrible map. Yikes.
I need mine.
Probably killed our run completely. Though I do feel it was already losing its chance anyways because we didn't have you know, really that good of like time going and plus bone spear and stuff, so we really needed to be a little faster to be able to move through some of these sections. We can still take it for a hell run. But I think part normal is completely toast. This is just way too much, like having to just clear everything. Because that's the thing, is this character is not built for clearing right now very well, right? He's already just a garbage character anyways to begin with, but I'm playing him slightly under leveled, which means you really need to get a little lucky with it allowing you through a little more, and not just doing what it's been doing. are just toast. Which I guess this is the bigger issue potentially with going for the low level strats is it'll just die to the game being punishing in any capacity. It doesn't give you any benefit of the, like, you know, any leeway whatsoever. Your damage is just so bad.
Not enough mana.
What do you need?
Okay, so low level strats, probably not it. Like, it almost feels okay, but the problem is you could do it, but then you have to do it and also get extremely lucky that you just, like, don't have a chaos, don't have any areas that are bad at all, you know?
Not enough mana.
Which, you know, and I guess world records do play for luck plenty of times. But if you get any bit, you'll just completely lose everything. You get unlucky and you're really in a bad spot. Jesus. Is that dead? No. Basically.
I can't.
Not enough damage. So close. Oh my god. It's like awful to even try and take this to normal, you know? Or through hell.
carry anymore.
It's just like an embarrassing run now. Full of absolute garbage. Oh, my body. Let's go. Like, even for a level 23, 24 character who is going to have way more damage, that was still a really nasty. We got all the worst paths. I feel like maybe going for Telestaff isn't a bad idea. Just really go for levels. Oh, don't do it again. No.
Diablo, I bested you.
+7.
Greetings.
What? Act 4, huh? We're at level 21 for that. Can you have my lawn? Why do you want my lawn? What? Oops. You need to go camping? Alright, sure. Come on over.
It takes more than a siege to stop me.
Leveling. Is it just a reset? The question is, how quickly can I level? To get up to, you know, 24, 25. Well, I had a 133, 132 the other day. I'm not on pace to beat that. I finally got, what really sucks is I finally got the, what I wanted in terms of first way into a good Act 3, but it was on like the worst run, a run that literally should have been reset earlier, you know? Like, why can't you give it to me on all the other runs that I asked for it? Few errors less than the Speech World Record? Ah, no. I don't even feel like my Act 4 was a bunch of errors. It's just trying to run a really, really low-level, weak character with not much stuff against way too packed chaos, you know?
Let us out! Let us out!
Impossible.
But either way, I do think leveling is the right way to go in the future.
I can't.
At least maybe being like 21 to 22. Because I'm just running around, you know, 4 to Bone Spear is just not cutting it. I only got the +1 right there, and so I'm like 3 Bone Spear levels, 3 to 4 shorter than, you know, the record, which means he kills things twice as fast. It's way safer. Yeah, what level was I? I almost want to go watch. Gosh dang it.
Impossible. Impossible.
I was dead. Did I end up 23 to 24 on that last one? So I'm saying, you get caught in there at level 20, you just have no chance to escape. So you just like have to not roll these boss moves in these spots.
I can't. I can't.
Okay, so yeah, I guess it is a do it better. Oh, and then we get the. We've had a pretty good. Well, Act 4 was not the dream goal, but Act 3 and 5 have been pretty dreamy, to be honest. But it just doesn't matter.
I can't.
We're just on dead runtime pieces. Unfortunately. Death Lord's here. Bad Moon Lord. Bad.
Impossible.
Okay, yeah, pretty good maps overall.
The resting place. I can't. Impossible.
Just take a second there, Talek. It's getting real spicy today. Tough Ancients. Alex whirlwinding a lot.
Impossible. Impossible. I can't.
For a second I saw that belt and I was like, what kind of base is a crimson belt? Come on, man.
I can't. Impossible.
Probably waypoint. Yeah. Favorite game from Sega? I don't have a Sega. I never had one. I was a Nintendo boy, but I did enjoy, you know, I'd go to my friend's house and play Sega sometimes, so we play
Impossible.
Sonic and stuff. That was always fun. Trying to think what else we'd really like
I can't.
to play on.
I can't. Impossible. I can't. I can't.
So, definitely a lesser played system for me. Okay. Where am I leveling? Just doing Flare Jungle, I guess. Thanks, sweet Phil. Oh, I can't see my mark. I missed that one. Should be on wave 4 still. I don't know if I have a favorite class. What? Oh wait, I don't have telly. Shoot. Alright, let's do a longer drag. I disagree with that miss, but such is life. Really? Okay, that one I actually do think I went too deep, so that one is fair. I like different classes for different things and stuff. Sorceress is really fun. but
Good afternoon.
you turn and slap the golem. Thank you. I got more too. Yeah, we're just like so weak on this. Okay, so I mean, I'm happy that we at least got to test what the level 21 feels like. Because it's bad. It's not a good. Just not a good feeling at all. And look at how hard it is to even ship down mail at all at this level. For this.
How may I be of help?
Later on, it's good. Yeah, you can just see, I just don't do damage.
Mister got my Necromancer last night in the terrorized. Do you beat Diablo's spawn with Necromancer build? One hash only heart.
Diablo clone. Warden is nice. It depends what necro you're doing, but you know, you just need some sort of prevent monster here field to roll, and then you're good to go. Get some Erdars as well. Can be really nice for revives if you have that available. I guess we're going here. Oh, wait. players 3. Here it's a bit much potentially, but see, it just feels bad. This is gonna be so slow. Only 20.
I can't carry anymore.
Look at this. Alright, yes, so behind.
I can't carry anymore. I can't carry anymore.
I have never, in my entirety of all these Necro runs that I've attempted, including re-rolling heads, I have never found a plus bone spearhead. That's crazy.
I can't carry anymore.
Nah, this is so bad. I know we had Sanders boots, which was nice, but that's so slow. You have to get the levels earlier. He's just too slow. Oh, God. Yeah, the 21 experiment was brutal.
Please, listen to me. The Archbishop Lazarus. Your death will be avenged. Please, listen to me. Please, listen to me. The Archbishop Lazarus. The sanctity of this place has been fouled. Whoa.
Fresh meat.
The warmth of life has entered my tomb. Prepare yourself, mortal, to serve my master for eternity. Whoa.
Oh god, the stupidest golems ever. Literally so bad.
Yes. Please, no hurt, no kill. Something for you I am making. Again, not kill Garbad. Live, live, no pain, and promise I keep. You take this as proof I keep word. Nothing yet, almost done. Very powerful, very strong.
What? Why are you here? All these interruptions are enough to make one insane. What? Why are you here?
Send DP. Send DP. TP, send TP, 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 send TP, 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 send TP, TP, send TP, 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 send TP. Res me please, res me please, res me please, res me please, res me please.
Very true story. Oh.
Moo.
All right. Oh. On my 797th anniversary, my true llama gave to me a streaming of Heroes 3. Did the Giants win? Did they beat the Cow? No, they haven't yet, did they? Not quite. All right, I want to do another daily dose. We got an A+ draft grade. You guys did draft well. So then this will cover tomorrow's early daily dose. So then we can have a long, good speedrunning stream tomorrow. That necro got me down. I'm like, ugh. But I want to do one of these. So let's do it. Let's do it. Welcome back. Gosh dang it. Hold on. Everybody to your stupid daily dose of Diablo. My name is Mr. Llama SC. And just in today's episode, I don't have the background. We're going to restart it. That was just a mess of everything. Whew. Welcome back, everybody, to your Daily Dose of Diablo. My name is Mr. Llama SC, and in today's episode, we are going to take a look at flat magic and physical damage reduction. Now, this was requested by one of the DDoD viewers. So, of course, if you have any specific topics that you feel would be good, you can always request them. And if I think they're solid for it, then, hey, maybe we'll have an episode. So, what is exactly flat magic damage and physical damage reduction? These are, let me get my pictures right here for you. These are things that you will find on various items, and they are purely a flat reduction. So you know your percent reduction, right? If you have your COA or your Storm Shield, whatever it is, when that's very good, right? Your 35% physical damage reduction. That is still like very nice. This is a flat reduction that will be coming at the start of it. So if I get hit by a mob for 50 physical damage and I have damage reduced by 25, this is physical damage reduced, by the way. There's magic damage reduced and then just damage reduced. So if it's damage reduced, that means physical. So if they hit me for 50 physical and I have damage reduced by 25, that instantly goes down to 25. And then if I also have 50% PDR, physical damage reduction from the, percent based, then it would go down to 12.5. And so, right. So it is a flat damage piece that is taken off right there. You see it on items like this. You'll see, Malrune has magic damage reduced by 7. This is actually a very good way to get magic damage reduction because on blue items, you can get up to 25 with the Life Everlasting modifier. But for magic damage reduction, you can only get up to +6. So you'll only get magic damage reduced by 6 as a magic affix that you'll get on items. Now, obviously, there will be things like Malrune. You'll have high magic reduction on things like Gurki's Sanctuary, right? It's got 12 damage reduced, 15 magic damage reduced. Gladiator's Bane rolls 15 to 20 for damage reduced by, and magic damage reduced by. I think Dwarf Star has like 12 to 15% as well. All of this, right? So these are just some nice items that, you know, uniques and stuff that will have additional amounts that can be flat. And if you think about it, and you think about like putting a few of these together, your instant thought should be, hey, wait a second, I think I could actually reduce a decent amount of damage. Because let's take a look at, for instance, a Ranger, right? This is an Act 1 Rogue Archer right here, and all of the kind of Archer variations. And this is how much damage that they do. So normal, you can see over here on this, you know, your left or whatever. On the left side, you can see 2 to 3 damage at the start, 3 to 4, 4 to 6, and then 9 to 14 for the Flesh Archers. These are just going to be in Act 1. So this will be, you know, in Act 1 at the very end. Or the highest level areas, you'll have the Flesh Archers, and they'll do 9 to 14 damage. Go all the way up to Hell, they're doing 57 to 86 damage. Well, wait a second. If they're only doing 57 to 86 damage, and I'm able to take off a decent chunk of that with damage reduction, then that's pretty solid. And this also should hopefully show you that those rings that give you like magic damage reduced by 1 or damage reduced by 1, damage reduced by 2 early on in the game can actually have a significant effect. Because you can see right over here, if you're looking at just the early damage from the tower and stuff, right? Your archers in the tower, you're not taking that much damage if you can reduce 1 or 2 points from it, right? And this is every single time. So instead of getting hit by a group of archers and them all doing 3 to 4 damage to you, they're all doing 2 to 3 or 1 to 2 damage. And this can be a massive way to help your character out, right? And then again, all the way up into Hell. So you really can build together a very strong pieced character, right? I mean, here's just some Fallens and kind of their damage and where it is, right? So if you look at all the mobs, you're really not getting like over 100 damage dealt for, you know, their physical hits and stuff. But when you get to Hell, you start getting might auras, you start getting amp damage, you start getting, you know, extra strong and all these combinations. And that's where you really get these like big hits and then crits on it and stuff, right? So damage reduction can be a little rough for that, right? If you're just playing a character and you're not running ES and all these other pieces and you just have damage reduction, it can be brutal because you're not going to stop the big giant hits. But playing through the game especially, and then for a majority of hits from mobs, getting this can be really nice. So one thing I want to show is the ordering, right? If we're talking about where does this all come in the ordering? So we have at the top your XVX penalty. So in PvP, it's -5 or 6. So that's just damage gets reduced for PvP. Then damage hits your energy shield next. Where? That way. Energy shield. Then it hits your bone armor and cyclone armor. Then it hits your integer damage reduction and magic damage reduction. So that's at that stage. Then it hits your resistances. So your resistances and damage reduction % come afterwards. Then your percentage absorb, and then your integer absorb. So, you know, if you have like 20 light absorb or whatever it is, right, that'll be down at the bottom off that base, which is also why absorb can be very strong, because it's after you've reduced the damage down in every way, then you get to have this integer absorb and gain life based on it. So if you have a high absorb, you know, like let's say you have 20 lightning absorb, after it goes through all these steps and finally gets down to the absorb amount, you could actually have like gain 3 life or something if you're able to reduce with a high enough lightning resist, right? So this is the ordering in general. Oh wait, that's the wrong. Hold up. So right, like I was saying, maybe you end up thinking about an immortal being character now, right? After looking at that ordering, you're saying, okay, if I have like a sorceress and I get her energy shield, and then that energy shield is up to 95%. And then I have this integer damage reduction MDR and my res and all of these things. Is it possible to make a character that cannot die? And that character that cannot die is your immortal sorceress, right? So Cooley has a really good video on it that goes through and shows it. But you're your immortal sorceress, and you can see here she is literally just standing in the middle of all of Nilithak's minions and everything, and they're just attacking her, and she is not dying. She's just sitting at 1 life, because obviously poison can bring you to 1 life. Rabies can take you to 0 life, so if you get hit by rabies, you would die. But regular poison just brings you to 1 life, and then with your energy shield all the way up there at 95%, and if you're running your max block and you've got your res and your and you have all this PDR and MDR, essentially, you're just not like taking any damage. None of the damage is actually really going through. Just a little bit is hitting your mana, but that's regenning enough that you can pretty much just be immortal. So it is a pretty funny and interesting build. But one way that it actually really functions and becomes super OP, and something that's also just really good to know, is if we go back to this ordering, there's one piece of the ordering that I left off. And this is 8 overflow. So what is overflow? This is the PDR MDR bug. It's probably a bug, but it's the way that it functions in the game. There is an overflow of your integer damage reduction or your magic damage reduction based on if you get hit with an attack that deals both elemental or magic and physical damage. So the way that this works, let's go here, would be something like this. If I have an attack that applies 100 physical damage, 50 fire, 50 light, 50 cold, I have 100 magic damage reduction. How much damage do I take? So you do the simple formula, right? You say, okay, fire is 50, right? Because I take 50 fire damage, minus 100 magic damage reduction equals negative 50. Light is 50 minus 100 is negative 50. Cold is 50 minus 100, negative 50. You add these three together, and that becomes your total magic damage reduction overflow. And then it applies that to your physical. So then I take 100 physical damage, but I have 150 magic damage reduction applied over. That is negative 50, which is less than 0, and thus I take 0 damage. Which is kind of funny, because if the attack just didn't do like fire and light damage, and it just was cold and physical, then I would take 50 physical damage. If it did none of the elemental damage, I would take 100 physical damage. But because it does more of these elemental damages here, each one is going to be the amount taken minus my MDR. And if that's a negative amount, it literally carries that over to my physical damage, which is just wild, right? Let's take another look. An attack applies 20 physical damage, 100 fire, and 100 light damage. I have 100 damage reduction, 50% fire res, 50 light res, and 20 light absorb. How much damage do I take? So you say, okay, 20 physical minus 100 is 80. So I have 80, negative 80. So I have negative 80 damage reduction that's extra and overflow that will roll over to the sum of all of the elemental damage that I take at the end of the ordering. Again, remember, at the end of the ordering, it will actually work. Overflow is number 8 right here. So with that, it will say, okay, I take 100 fire damage, but I have 50 fire res, thus I take 50 fire damage. I take 100 light damage, but I have 50 light res, so I take 50 light damage. And then I have 20 light absorb, So I take 30 light damage, right? Because I'll gain 20 light absorb eventually. So I'd take 100 light damage, but then gain 20 light absorb right there, which means I take 80 elemental damage, 50 fire, and 30 light. But of course, because I have that negative 80 rollover from the physical, 80 minus 80 equals 0, I take 0 damage. And once again, I am actually penalized, or the person attacking is actually penalized for hitting with more damage types than just the regular amount. So this is it's a little confusing. I can understand if at first you're a little confused here. But damage reduction overflow is a very important thing to understand, especially if you're going to do low-level dueling. This is something that people, it's a reason that they don't try and just have like a charm with a little elemental damage or something, right? Because if you come in and then you hit them, but you have a tiny bit of elemental damage, then all of a sudden, right, it's like, okay, you hit for this big fizz, but then you deal 1 fire, 1 light, and 1 cold damage, let's say, because you have a charm of each of those. Well, now all their magic damage reduction is going to be 1 minus 100. That would be 99, 99, 99. They would have 297 damage that then gets to be applied to the physical damage attack that you did. So literally, if you are just doing tiny chips of damage at someone and they have higher magic damage reduction or physical damage reduction, you will actually be doing less damage due to the overflow. This is also against monsters. Yeah. No, this is from mobs as well if they are hitting and stuff, right? If they attack you and they have damage and you have damage reduction, it's going to be the same idea. So this is kind of broken, I would say. You really assume it has to be a bug because, again, if I just attacked you with 100 physical damage and you had 100 MDR, you would just take 100 physical. If I attack you with 100 physical and 50 fire, you would take 50 physical. And if I attack you with 100 physical and you have 50 fire, 50 light, and 50 cold, and you have no res, no absorb anything, you'll take 0 damage, right? Because every one I hit, the integer rollover. So it's kind of silly, but it really comes down to, again, the rollover plus all of this right here, where you have all of these, the ordering shifting and that overflow actually going to the bottom of the ordering. Because that is a really important step, right? I am getting, with the physical, I'm getting that physical piece. Let me go there again. 20 minus 100 is negative 80. But then it's not like it's, because in this question, I took 200 elemental damage and it's only minus 80. But because the overflow actually goes to the very bottom, I get to first apply my resistances and my absorb and everything to that amount until it gets to the final smallest amount that it is. Then it adds all that elemental damage up together, and then the overflow goes in and just completely negates it. So 55 fire, 55 lightning, 55 cold, 155 poison, 155 physical. Exactly. So it's a pretty, like I say, just pretty funny way that the game works, but it's something that's really important to note. And again, something that I think is really important for people who are playing through to take a look and gain an understanding of what can be beneficial within PVM, obviously in PvP as well, but within PVM, if you are getting hit by mobs and the hits do multiple damage types and stuff, it can actually be really useful to have some of this damage reduction. Things like Gladiator's Bane can actually be really useful because, again, going to our slideshow, you can look and see the damages that hell mobs are doing. That bottom right number, that is a level 85 hell rogue archer or flesh archer. And it does 57 to 86 damage. So even if at the start, again, you are going to be having, you know, like it's the start of the ordering, even if you're not getting the benefit of it also doing lightning damage and then you get the rollover and nature and stuff. If you are right there and you have 20, 30 physical damage reduction, you're nearly cutting their attacks in half. So just extremely beneficial, and a really nice way that you can have, you know, that you can actually build a character, use this stat as something that can be beneficial. And it's more beneficial even than I think we really use and stuff. Every now and then on a speedrun, you'll see me come across an item that's like 18 damage reduction or something. And I slap that bad boy on and, you know, usually use that over some resistances and everything. Because, again, that is very valuable. That is a lot of damage off that is being taken from every time you get hit. It doesn't save you from the giant crits and the big hits along, you know, in that regard. So that is going to be the biggest issue, which is why the immortal character is a sorceress. Because, again, sorceress, you know, can get up to 95%. So if we show that right here at level 40, I believe. So there you go. At level 40, damage absorbed is 95% for energy shield. And that is your max. And so that's why she can be absolutely godly and so good for it. Because then you're literally coming in here. And again, PvP would first drop down their damage, but then sorceress energy shield, you're absorbing 95% of the damage, and only the 5% is coming through, and then you just need your energy damage reduction, MDR, and resist and everything to close up that final gap. So that can be very beneficial, and then obviously telekinesis benefiting even more to make the damage shield damage absorption even more effective, so that you're just not taking damage pretty much. Yeah. So anyways, that is damage reduction and magic damage reduction, which again is different from the percentage damage reduction. That goes in your percentage resist in this piece right here, which is also, of course, beneficial and a very, very highly sought after affix. But yeah, don't negate the integer DR MDR, especially when you can get hit by multiple elements, because then that overflow can just be super beneficial and just do a ton for you. So this is your daily dose of Diablo. I hope you learned something today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time, YouTube. Peace. Is damage taken to mana worth anything? I mean, it gets you mana, which can be nice. So there probably is on the Immortal Sorceress some like running with some damage taken to mana as well, just to keep like getting your mana rolled through. But it's not actually reducing any damage. It just also, you know, if you take 10 damage and 10% goes to mana, you take 10 damage, but then you also gain a mana. So you're not taking 9 damage and 1 damage going to your, you know, 1 point to mana, right? You take the 10 full still, but you do gain some mana. So again, for an energy shield sorceress, I mean, that's always nice considering mana is your life. So I'm sure there's something with that people do and use. Cool. Cool. Thank you, Hades, for the 100 bits. I'm gonna take a little. I'm tired. Yes, last night was rough. I'm very tired, so I'm gonna take a little nap here. But we got our daily dose done for today. Tomorrow, so tomorrow we will just be jamming. I'm gonna plan for just a nice like 6 hours or so of grinding right there. Mwah! GG, everybody. Thank you guys for being here, and I will see you tomorrow for some more speedruns. Peace, everyone.
Many moons have passed since I left the town of Tristram behind me. Since then I've tried to forget the terrors I beheld beneath the cold earth and the twisted nightmares that have haunted my every waking moment. There's something dark within me now. I can feel it. Eyes blast to the past, a bitter killer's mastery class, an orb of ice, a centrifuge recast at the fast, a frozen mass. They shattered into glasses of ash, a chill and blizzard wizards cast, and now I'm gone in a flash. And we don't stop, a Nova proc, a weapon swap, a unique drop. We're tearing through this chaos, listen to our master raptor flock. The last who popped the moment stopped, he's finally free. Not even death can save me from me. Holy bolt, holy shield, holy freeze. I might smite the Lord of Terror onto his knees. I'll set free the beast within just to watch him bleed. Pure concentration, no salvation, just to restore peace and bring order to the world. The desecration from my sword, he start a war. I'll massacre the core foundation of the law. This ain't no soul in search of answers, just a hero with a T. And by the time I finish slaying, there won't be Diablo 3. Lord of destruction, Lord of corruption, Lord of the hate and pain. I instigate a flow so great, eviscerate the syndicate. I decimate, eradicate my foes in turretonic state. They suffocate, choke on my name. Lord of seduction, Lord of disruption, Lord of the lies, Belial hides inside. He's terrified, mass genocide. My master rhymes identify the stale while they listen as I amplify. Strict specify it's time to die. Bring it back to the master of the track. Travel east to find the beast so I can slay him with my rap. Don't need flails or a sword. Tie my hand behind my back. Like a shop up, I'ma kill him with my lyrical attack. Time to let out my battle cry. I don't find the time to grind a level 9 to 9. Support the party blizzard wizard and that summon god. I stand to tank the flanking dolls, but when I try to fight, my damage lacks. Decrepified, I can't attack. I spent my life mastering axes, now I'm damned to cat. Or cries of anguish, they don't care, they want the mana back. Dead dreams of prestige, honor, valor. Now I stand and rap, I go slow. A mental block from years ago, still trapped inside my mind. The frigid howling's all I know. Yet as I hit my blows, my vengeance charges start to grow. Look out, Diablo, this barbarian's about to steal the show. I spit fire, but not the weak like Inferno. Ebotted poison over shots crushed from my goblin toes. Line by line, I'm breathing rhymes into red lightning hose. And if you're caught up in this flow, your corpse just might explode. Lord of destruction, Lord of corruption, Lord of the hate and pain. I instigate a flow so great, eviscerate the syndicate. I decimate, eradicate my foes in turretonic state. They suffocate, choke on my name. Lord of seduction, Lord of disruption, Lord of the lies, Belial hides inside. He's terrified, mass genocide. My master rhymes identify the stale while they listen as I amplify. Strict specify it's time to die. It's a catastrophe, metallic bashing me. Can't throw blows cause I chose my caricaster tree. Tornadoes, dodging mobs like it's an allergy. Path of woes, a product of a master mastery. I pray to D, pray straight blasphemy. I pray to find a glitch or bug to get me past these three. I'll lose my mind if Talik's extra faster, I can't see. Maddox throws, it's time to focus, DJ drop that beat. They're afraid of the pain that I ingrain in the brain. Degrade the brave escapades by throwing shade at the name. My rage builds interlaid, volcanoes burning away. Cat level 4, hurricane, chill to the core, can't escape. Soon be no more disengrave statues of gold that'll say you're worthy hero. Now go slay the Lord of destruction today. Source and control through its fate. Get to the throne to delay your only hope. Take a moment now, ready, set, play. Lord of destruction, Lord of corruption, Lord of the hate and pain. I instigate a flow so great, eviscerate the syndicate. I decimate, eradicate my foes in turretonic state. They suffocate, choke on my name. Lord of seduction, Lord of disruption, Lord of the lies, Belial hides inside. He's terrified, mass genocide. My master rhymes identify the stale while they listen as I amplify. Strict specify it's time to die. Blade shield on assassin, invade for res maxima. Waves of fire setting ablaze to trespassing and slaves, and the masses afraid.